New Orleans.
I'm Bree Wood with 4 things you should know from BIN News. President-elect Trump has nominated former NFL player Herschel Walker as U.S. ambassador to the Bahamas. Walker, who ran for Senate in 2022, has long served as an ambassador to youth, military members, and athletes. Lawmakers have reached a deal to avert a government shutdown, extending the funding deadline to March 14th. The agreement includes a one-year farm bill extension, $30 billion for farmers, and $100 billion in
out and welcome. It's the Front Porch. WBOK 1230 AM. What New Orleans is talking about.
All day long.
I'm your host, Graylin Bryant Banks.
And I'm your host, Kimber White Dupree. Good morning.
Brother Nair and Brother Justin on the other side of the glass, y'all. Thank you for being with us as we begin today's broadcast, this 18th day of December.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for joining us as we begin from the historic campus of Xavier University from our studios right here at the foot of the overpass on South Norman C. Francis Parkway. So you know we home. www.wbok1230.com is the address if you want to stop on by. Grab yourself a comfortable chair, a mug or tumbler of your favorite Frosty or steamy adult beverage. Mind your manners. Holler at your people. Say good morning and kick it with us for the next 3 hours as we continue to examine this world through a 504 focused scope. And of course, the number one top ranking way we love to hear from each and every one of y'all is the WBOK 1230 AM talk line, 504-582-9422. Holler at your people. Let me know what's happening. I ain't talked to y'all in a while. What's going on with you?
Good morning.
What's up, Kimber?
It is Bad Cheer Wednesday.
Is it?
It is.
I can feel it coming in the air, Phil Collins. Well, actually, Genesis.
Yeah.
In the air tonight.
But lead singer, Phil Collins.
Well, yeah.
Yes, that's why people would attribute Phil Collins, because that's the voice you hear throughout the song.
I like to be Pacific, because if you go looking for it, you got to look for Genesis.
Yes.
And you can find it.
Well, that's just like looking for Luther Vandross and finding out it's Change.
And or looking for Jeffrey Osborne and hearing LTD.
Or looking for Lionel Richie and finding the Commodores.
Teddy Pendergrass and Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes.
Yeah. And now that one is one that'll mess you up.
Yeah.
That's one. It's like, no, it's Teddy P. And it's like a completely different name. Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes.
Teddy was a Blue Note.
And it was like, well, what?
Yeah.
How? How did that go along?
Just like Luther was Change.
Exactly.
Luther was a member of Change. He wasn't Luther yet.
Yes. Absolutely. And
That's
LaBelle and Patti LaBelle. Like, there's so many different groups that people attribute certain songs and music to because of the recognizable voice that either started out as a lead singer or continued on to be a lead, the main singer.
Oh, yeah.
And so looking, it's like for older music, when we pay attention to those things, you'll get kind of lost in that. But yeah, it's like a whole bunch.
Genesis had a bunch of killer hits, and then when he came out, he had a spectacular solo, still having a spectacular solo career. So yeah. Sometimes ask Lionel.
And then he did a lot of duos too. Easy Lover. I can't remember who was the person that was on that one.
That was
She'll break your heart, she'll take your heart, but you won't feel it. I can't remember who it was, but I remember that video because it was really cool. Was it the guy from Earth, Wind and Fire? Was it him? Philip Bailey?
Philip Bailey?
Was it Philip Bailey?
Phil Collins.
Phil Collins was the lead. Right, was the lead. Yes, Genesis.
Right,
yes,
but
who was the Easy Lover?
The duet.
I feel like it was.
Yeah, Philip Bailey.
Philip Bailey. All right, cool.
Philip Bailey. There you go. Phil and Phil.
That was pretty cool.
That dude was stupid. He saw Dr. Dre and the World Class Wrecking Crew. They weren't that.
Though they were not that popular. In on the West Coast they were.
Oh, on the West Coast they was killing it, but they had not made that breakthrough.
It was not a crossover appeal.
Yeah, and most artists don't consider themselves there until they break
crossover.
out of where they from.
Yeah,
because that's that home court advantage. People love you where you're from.
Techno music didn't quite catch in broad strokes.
No, I'm not a
techno music didn't quite do it, but it was
I'm
good practice for his
fan.
Abilities as a producer and as being able to put music and songs together. So it was very good practice.
Now, you like techno?
I can do some of it. It was big in the 80s.
Yeah, I didn't like it, and because house reminds me of techno. Now people argue with me about that.
Different sound.
It is, but it's the repetition, I guess. because
But the same could be said about bounce music, because that's a
I,
lot
I
of
wasn't through
repetition
talking.
too.
I wasn't through talking.
Uh-huh.
The repetition in that manner um, is grating to me. Now I know it sells. I know it's cool. People say no, it's two different things. I get it, but I don't know. It's
It depends.
remember It Takes Two.
Yeah.
There's a part in It Takes Two. Ha, ha, ha. And why that little, I don't know, percussive note in it. And I know why it happened, because we drove to Atlanta for a Saints game during the hurricane, and I was in the back seat, and my head was right by the thing, and It Takes Two just was, for whatever reason, Kurt just kept playing It Takes Two. It Takes Two.
Rob Bass?
Rob Bass. It Takes Two. It takes two.
DJ Easy Rock.
Yeah. The whole
Hit it.
thing. Yeah. See, it's triggering. So, but it was, and don't get me wrong, it's a banger. It's a banger. But
after hearing that back to back is torture.
Just
That's
and
torture.
and that's how techno and some house is for me.
Okay.
It's switch it up, cuz. Please say something. It's been 7 minutes. It's been 7 minutes. Do something different.
So, all right. You have techno, which, like I said, was pretty. Gotta Move On was a techno kind of song. Dun, 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 dun. That was really techie, but it caught.
Mm-hmm.
And then like the Percolator, and certain songs can kind of cross over, but like as a genre, they're attached to their region. And of course, like bounce music has gone a lot farther. Because other people enjoy the bambula drum that is the base of our music here in New Orleans. But I mean, that's the magic of what African people do. Funky Town is another one that's like Gotta Move On. Yeah, that one. So all of the music doesn't catch and spread across. Songs will be able to cross, but the genres themselves have often not been as widespread. Like R&B music has been able to cross all across the world. Country music is right. Country music, the blues has been at one point where everybody, you were hearing blues music in different places, and those genres are widespread, but some things are just for that region,
right,
of that area.
Yeah. As you said, there'll be a song that'll break out. There'll be something but then an artist who can transcend that. That's who does usually, because you don't bring the whole crew.
Right. Disco.
Oh yeah.
Had its time where it was
Donna Summer
complete,
was the queen.
Yeah.
Studio 54.
But so many different artists were able to do
it.
it. Yeah. Oh God.
It was a time, man.
Lord.
Disco was a time. It was,
and it caught like wildfire. It caught like wildfire, and you still have elements of it that last today. But if it sounds disco-ish, you might be able to get one or two songs across, but you can't. That can't be your whole career. Not now.
Right.
Because a lot of careers ended because of disco.
Oh yeah, you had to be. You really had to have another gear. If you were huge or really big in disco, you had to reinvent yourself, a la Grace Jones. A couple other folks came out of disco.
The Pointer Sisters were able to go from before disco music, during disco music, and continued on after.
Absolutely.
And there were some groups that were able to last, but not some. Like I said, some careers ended. At disco.
Oh yeah. But it set the club scene. I think that was the discotheques were the beginnings of what became the whole club scene, because it was more live music when you went out from New Orleans, from a New Orleans. when you went out, there were bands.
Yeah.
Even coming up high school, there were bands.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you went somewhere and there was maybe one guy who was spinning some music
Mm-hmm.
in between the bands. But then when disco hit, the records that went along with disco made the DJ famous too.
Mm-hmm.
So Studio 54 and other clubs, now the DJ became the draw. And so the club, which used to go do to hit a band, you now morphed to come dance.
Right.
So that's why in the DJ and the whole dance scene and the whole,
And then I'm sure the cost was different because you're not paying multiple people
You're
to
not paying the
provide
band.
live music.
That's right.
Yeah.
You're not paying the band.
And DJs have a complete control over what's going on in the space because the DJs can bring the volume and the temperature and the excitement up, and they can also bring it back down.
Bring
And
it
that
back down.
is very important for
And
DJs.
they were huge influence. There was the record companies knew you get a certain DJ, whether he was on the radio or whether he was in the hottest club in the city, get him to drop your artist's latest single, get it banging in the club. Then you knew you had something, and it kept on morphing because that's where it used to make its debut. And then when the street came more into it, the
strip club
The
is
strip
where you
club.
dropped your
strip club.
music. Yeah.
because that was
And that might be why love songs don't come up as much as they used to anymore, because they're
Depend
not
on
playing
what you
no love songs, and they're not playing love songs, and they're not making good love songs.
It depends on what you love. It depends on what you're loving on.
Well,
How
right
you
now
gonna sing
they
it.
love drugs and money and sex.
Well, they've always
Exactly,
done that. They've always those things are not
there's
new.
no other focus. There's no
There's-
falling in love.
What there's no finesse. There's no it's just so raw.
It is that.
It is. It's not different. It's just different.
Yeah, it is.
The desire and the whole idea has always been there, but today
Lord.
you just, hey, how you doing? Find yourself.
All right, take your clothes off. Let's go to work. That's pretty much the move now.
And you keep on moving. I thought that might have been as a young man that utopia. You know what I'm saying? Oh wow, because it wasn't as easy.
It's here now.
But I'm different. I'm different. Thank you very much. It's the Front Porch, y'all. WBOK 1230 AM. What New Orleans is talking about.
All day long.
Stick and stay, y'all. Don't go nowhere. Bad Churn Wednesday. We're going to take a quick break and see you on the other side of it.
Hi, I'm Leo Jackson, host of Sunday Gospel here every Sunday morning, 5 a.m. to 7 p.m. and 12 o'clock till 2 p.m. You don't want to miss this move of God. It happens only on WBOK. You listen to all day long.
Good morning and happy Wednesday. I'm Morgan Lentis with WDSU News, and here's a look at today's headlines. Yesterday's multi-car pileup on the causeway is coming into clearer focus this morning. We've learned 20 people were hurt, 11 of whom were transported to hospitals on the North Shore, and more than 50 cars were involved in 6 separate accidents. Officials say dense fog set in fast, causing those crashes and ultimately prompting the bridge to be shut down in both directions for several hours. More dense fog is in the forecast today, so slow down and don't drive distracted on your morning commute. Today, former New Orleans priest Lawrence Hecker will receive a mandatory life sentence. Earlier this month, Hecker pleaded guilty to rape and kidnapping charges ahead of his trial. The charges stem from crimes committed decades earlier. Pleading guilty means Hecker faces that mandatory life sentence. Then a precautionary boil water advisory remains in effect in the lower Ninth Ward. The Sewerage and Water Board says water pressure dropped in the area Tuesday morning, causing the advisory. Water pressure has been restored and water quality samples are now being tested. But this morning you need to boil your water for a full minute before using it. We will update you on WDSU.com when that advisory is lifted. And that's a look at today's headlines. I'm Morgan Lentis with WDSU News. Have a great day.
Tired of the impersonal, one-size-fits-all style of banking? You deserve a bank that delivers exceptional service and personalized attention to your needs. That's the Home Bank Standard. Since 1908, Home Bank has been a trusted financial partner for businesses and families because we go the extra mile to help you reach your goals. See for yourself why Home Bank is good for business, good for life. Stop by any New Orleans area location or find out more at home24bank.com. Home Bank, member FDIC.
Wherever we go, we never forget where we came from. The river parishes tell a story unlike any other. Join Rise St. James for Home for the Holidays, a celebration of our shared heritage, including the historic Orange Grove and Buena Vista plantations. Hear stories of resilience, connect with descendants, scholars, and community members. Preserve our legacy, honor our ancestors, build a sustainable future. Join the conversation at risestjames.org/holidays. Rise St. James. Together, we rise.
Entergy New Orleans is creating stronger connections throughout our city. That commitment goes beyond strengthening our power grid. We're also investing in every neighborhood in the city: CBD, Uptown, Gertown, New Orleans East, Bywater, and Mid-City. We're there, working for you. From STEM education to cultural events and community outreach programs, Entergy employees volunteer thousands of hours every year because this is our home too.
Keep up with NOLA Public Schools through Education Elevation. Education Elevation will highlight the achievements, innovations, and contributions of scholars, educators, schools, and the district. Tune in every fourth Wednesday at 11:30 a.m. for engaging conversations and updates as we strengthen connections and support the needs of our scholars. Mark your calendars for every fourth Wednesday at 11:30 a.m.
Hi, this is Cleveland Spears III, partner at Equity Media and WBOK 1230. Wishing you and yours a happy holidays and...
Hi, this is Cleveland Spears IV. Welcome to the world. Happy holidays.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM. You're on the front porch with WBOK 1230 AM.
Welcome back, y'all. The Front Porch, WBOK 1230 AM, what New Orleans is talking about.
All day long.
I'm your host, Graylin Brian Banks.
And I'm your host, Kimber White Dupree.
Brother Nyron on the other side of the glass, y'all. Bad Cheering Wednesday, bringing it to you right here. Thank you for being with us. I see all y'all out there on the Facebook chat dealio, whole deal. Good morning, everybody. Good to see you. Earl see the famous. What you know about the famous, man?
I know it was a theater. I know it, after being the famous After Dark, it became sensations. I was never able to go to either.
It was the famous disco when they first opened. It was the famous discotheque. That's what it was. And it just got shortened, of course, as New Orleanians do with nicknames. It just became the famous Slick Leo.
At the famous. Yes,
Harry Berry.
I remember the commercial.
Yeah, they had Super Freak. They had a Super Freak contest in there.
That's
way back, yeah.
It was a movie theater.
It was a theater.
Yeah.
It was a theater. And it was
And
the
then
famous, and it was closed for a while.
Uh-huh.
And then they opened it and reinvented it as the famous discotheque, famous theater disco. And that was the move for a bunch of years because it was right up the block from the Bottom Line. Dude would let me in the famous one night, and that's how I discovered the Bottom Line. And I thank my lucky stars after that.
Lord have mercy.
I had on jeans, man.
Tell me about this. Tell me about this. This freak contest.
Oh, the Super Freak contest?
Yeah.
Oh, man, I can tell you about that. You remember that girl is pretty kinky.
I do.
The girl
I
is
know the
super
song.
freak.
Yeah.
Rick James,
Rick
right?
James.
This was
Yes.
at that time. This
Absolutely.
was that era, right? So you danced to the Super Freak song. So there was girls who decided that they qualified to be in the Super Freak contest and put their name in the list. And the DJ would spin the music, play Super Freak, and they would dance and get freaky. But it was by themselves. You know, there was no audience participation.
Okay.
And you couldn't do that. Couldn't get that freaky. But you could be a super freak and dance. And the winner was judged by applause. It was a ripoff. And me and my cousin Kelly was in there. And we convinced, there was a young lady who was in the super freak contest, and the other girls looked like they could have been in the Rick James video, right? They were good-looking girl.
Okay.
Right? And there was this one young lady who wasn't quite that, right? By a long shot.
Yikes.
But her spirit was good. And she got in the contest because she wanted to do her thing. And me and Kelly, of course, being who we are, led the cheers for her because I felt like she should have won because she had the most heart.
She had the stuff.
She had the stuff, whatever it took. I didn't know if she was a freak, and I didn't know if she was trying to find out. But we cheered for her, and they gave it to somebody else. Yeah, they gave it to somebody else, which we thought was really, really fun.
They robbed her.
Yeah, they robbed her because they was supposed to be going on the amount of applause. We made sure
that she
got the most. And I'm telling you, we was and people, you know how people been drinking there in the club. People, so people, they got it. They start clapping, and you know, sister should have won. But they gave it to this other little chick. And the other little chick did a good job. She before they had to do that thing what y'all call twerking, she was twerking.
Oh Lord.
This was back.
I'm not from the twerking area. I'm from the pee-popping area.
But see, this was before pee-pop. This was good. This was the super freak. See, pee-pop and all that came out later on. This was just an innate talent that got a name later. Yeah.
Oh boy.
She girl had skills. I can't lie. I'm not gonna lie. And she was deserving of it. But she didn't win according to the contest rules that you all had set up in the club. So yeah, I got a famous story.
Oh boy.
And if that boy was here, he'd tell a story about when that's why the famous theater is why I do not drink vodka.
Oh.
The famous is why. The famous let me know that the Russian portion of my ancestry and vodka.
It's not a good mix.
No, it's not a good mix. I'm a friendly, you know, happy-go-lucky guy, and always in a good mood.
Add vodka.
Make me
gonna be a problem.
Oh, make me ignorant. Oh, it make me ignorant.
I have not seen you on vodka.
No, and you won't.
No.
And you won't. I don't know if this. I ain't got nothing to drink but vodka. You got the water.
Tequila.
I got
tequila and a cognac or I've been
I do tequila.
In spaces and
do
with
tequila.
that. Not Bombay though.
Not by.
I haven't seen you with Bombay.
No. Bombay would be a blast from the past. It has been retired because I switched from Bombay and started drinking tequila. And been sticking with tequila because Bombay was with some times I will tell you that and the one thing I will not do is blame the Bombay. It was not the blue bottle.
Okay. Okay. Well.
No, it was not. 504-582-9422. Good morning, Dion. What's happening?
Hello.
Dion?
We can't hear you.
Call us back, cuz. 504-582-9422. Good morning, Brother Corey. How you doing?
Well, all I say is you always know how to move the crowd back then.
We had fun, bro. Yeah, we had fun. The girl should have won. She got ripped off.
Hey. Like I said, we can always spot good talent, you know. But anyway, you know, vodka was used in cosmetic before it started used as alcohol. You know that, right? So I guess you don't like women with makeup, right?
not the whole Krusty the Clown makeup I don't mind accessorizing. I do mind if it turns into the scene from "I'm gonna get you, sucker." You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, no, that. And I have seen, by virtue of the intranets and the transition from
the witchcraft,
and from a plain looking, not a bad looking girl. Listen, please don't misunderstand me. A plain looking, because there's a difference. Girl looks, she plays, but after the addition of what you call it, the witchcraft,
completely different human.
She is a completely different human being. And so when you
witchcraft,
when you wash your face, hey, yeah, all right, yeah, we make it those of the way. What
sorcery?
Where that other lady went?
Right. I'm sorry, I haven't met you yet. Who are you?
And what?
I'm sorry, have we met?
Yeah, no. No, so no, I do not have a problem.
Not transformation.
Yeah, not transformation, because I've seen what makeup can do. I know professional makeup people. I've been on movies. I know the magic that makeup can do. But in regular life, you just enhance a little bit. You don't need to. What did y'all say? Beat it up. Beat up. Get your face beat.
Ooh, well, so there are different things, right?
Isn't that though? Like if you going out, if you get your face. You get your face beat just to go to work?
Some people will do that.
I know some people. That's an anomaly, right? Let's be honest. The people who do that are they're not as many in number as the people who just know.
Not really. So there are some.
Y'all got that's why y'all wake up so early.
There was a Southern woman that I remember, a Southern black woman who would not go outside without a full face of makeup.
Without a full face, yeah.
Without a full face of makeup. For women that I know and have grown up, I do know some who will not go out with a full face of makeup, but many of us, along with the natural hair movement and just like recognizing like this is stupid or like a waste of time, there are many of us who won't do that. Now, you and I have been in places where I've worn makeup, but it's never like, I'm sorry, who are you?
Always, yeah, who are you? You enhance. You do like you do, but I mean,
but there are some people.
There's some people who, like you were going to the Oscars,
who will,
like you put on going to Schwegman,
full theater
makeup.
Yes,
and I'm not
it's
mad
not
at
just
you.
the makeup;
it's
makeup and hair
everything.
And adornments.
I'm not mad at you.
It's just a lot.
I'm not mad, baby. Do your thing. Because I'm all about fulfillment. If it makes you feel good, knock yourself out.
Hey,
but
I love you too,
it might not be for me. That's all I'm saying. It just might not be for me. But don't let my, not liking it stop you from doing your thing. Please, do your thing.
Yeah.
Do your thing. If that's how you want to do your thing.
And you mentioned something else too. You mentioned something else about, Slick Leo. You got to put correctly the world famous Slick Leo, and also you got to put on it, say he was full Captain Charles. So
mentor.
So I used to go to the bottom line all the time, but let me finish right quick, right? So check this out. So instruments, every instrument relates to some type of feeling. Like for instance, the string instruments is like for emotion, sadness, longing, dedicated beauty. Brass instruments, like we go to the second lines, it's about power, it's about energy, it's about triumph. It's about all those wood instruments bring into a silent mode. And you're in a movie, so there's no dead space in movies.
Right.
There's always something going on, music or something going on in the background. So that's why you be crying in certain parts. Say, ooh, crying, because they play a little violin or something in the background, touch your emotions. So remember, they spoke somebody on the morning show about the Cartel Pro, stuff like that. Music is one of them, because through the music, when we all are music, we all do sounds every day. We all music. Everything is vibration. Everything is frequency. So we have to know that and know. So I had listened to opera for like 5 years straight. This opera 5 years straight. So if you want to go into some type of different type of mental state of mind, find the right type of music and frequency for you, and just relax yourself and go into a whole nother stratosphere. Hey, peace of love, man, and keep all the great jokes, dude.
Yeah, you're right.
All right, peace of love.
Thank you, Brother Corey. Take it easy. Oh yeah, music hath charms, baby. That has been written about, sung about, odes, and peons to understanding that music hath charm to soothe the savage breast,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what it does. Cause I know it can take me,
Yeah.
or bring me back.
Mm-hmm.
I hear a certain song and I remember, oh, that girl could dance.
That wasn't what you're looking at, but it triggered a thought.
But it triggered a thought.
It triggered a
She
thought.
could dance. No, because see, when I'm thinking about that, I'm thinking about when we used to actually dance, slow dance, slow drag.
Mm-hmm.
You understand?
I am from that.
And, yeah,
I'm
and
from that era.
when they play them songs, you
Yes.
understand? Stairway to Heaven, by not the rock and roll Stairway to, not Zeppelin. I'm talking about
No,
OG.
yeah.
That one right. Wildflower. Yeah.
Well, I'm from the age group where Luther Vandross was very. He was in his prime, and then you also had the introduction of Babyface, and you had Anita Baker, which would have been classified as jazz music / R&B music, but like we listened to that music as well.
As kids, see, that was your team. That was your slow dragon time.
So
That's
we
coming up.
still had that, and I think as adults we still slow dance for my age group, but I don't know that my kids have had the opportunity to like have the opportunity to wait for somebody to ask you to dance, or for you to have the consideration to ask somebody to dance when those songs came out. Yeah, Ready for the World. We had
See, the
we
Capitals,
had
they stay in my
music.
corner, the Dell. See,
Ooh,
that's
Lord.
what. See, that's what.
That's
Look. Rent a square.
Well,
Rent a tile.
that's
Basement
a
party.
whole different situation.
Yeah, that's See, that's old school.
But I know that music very well.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
I know that music very,
Yeah,
very
Jack,
well.
early Earth, Wind and Fire, Reasons.
Mhm.
You know, yeah, man.
And Reasons was still getting a lot of play well into the 90s.
Oh, absolutely. That's Earth, Wind. They played right now today.
Yeah.
Today,
'Cause
absolutely.
House Party. It was that was the guy he wanted to dance with somebody, and Reasons was the song, was the go-to then. But yeah, this we got to bring it back, or figure out a way to bring it back.
I want to get next to you. That was the one from Cornwall.
Yes, I know the
song.
song.
Oh, baby.
Doom, 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 doom. Yeah, if you hear it, if you were afraid to dance with the person who you were currently dancing with, you exited quickly.
Go, man. And the only thing you better go ask. That worked today. If that song come on and somebody you like, go ask it today. That will work today. If that bass line come through,
oh yeah,
come on now.
That is
go grab her.
That is very it's not a dog whistle, because that's not what I want to call it, but it is very recognizable.
Oh yeah,
for people who know good music. Good morning to my sister Anjanette Laurent Espinoza, who is in California. Hey sis,
hey Anjanette.
She is up watching this morning.
Excellent. West Coast in the house.
Yes.
Yeah, man. But that one right there. Oh man. Oh baby. See thing. And that's what
yeah.
Josh said no, but we watched Jack, and all that kind of stuff was on Fred Sanford and them. Right, you know, we spoke a little different down here, man. We see, nah, Jack, she was a stone cold groove.
Oh God,
no, bro, slap me some skin on that. No, that's Hollywood,
groove.
bro. That was Don Cornelius. We didn't talk like
what? Never have I ever heard any.
It was more like say, bro, and then it went from there.
In my immediate circle, by relation or by family kinship, have I ever heard anybody say a stone cold groove?
No,
never,
man.
never, never. Lord.
It was fun though. Because we had fun. That's the one thing I will say. 504-582-9422. What's happening, Coleman?
Hey, good morning to my Ryan Eagles.
Good morning to you, sir.
All right. I want to chime in on what's beautiful and pretty. You know, my number 2 son, he don't allow his wife to go out with him with makeup on.
I hate the framing already, Mr. Coleman.
Nah, when she go out with her girlfriends, she can look like a painted Indian.
Oh,
but his philosophy is, I want the world to see what I see.
Okay.
And the other part of that, people who use a lot of makeup, they're not pleased with who they are. It's a deception. Now, we can have different versions on that, but we have I'm not saying a story, but it's a true event. Sometimes the person you wake up with in the morning is not the one you went to bed with the night before.
That's it. Don't even wake up. Wake up. No, you done waited around too long. Coleman, you done waited around too long, man. You want the magic to be wearing off, man. No, indeed.
and look, my grandmother says this. There's a difference between pretty and beautiful. Beauty is within. Pretty is on the outside. And when pretty fades away, the graveyard shall hold its own.
All right.
Okay.
Well, thank you for that, bro.
Not just pretty, but gorgeous. And I'd also say, look at elder pictures and then look at the present picture. What the young picture is definitely not what the old picture is. And sometimes we put too much on somebody's beauty. Well, I'm going to say prettiness versus the inner. And you could see that with a lot of married couples. You see people walking down the street hugging all up, and you saying, wow, what did they see? What did he see or she see in him? And you know, that's real talk for real time. But it's the inner person. And I think, well, in fact, I'll just say I know that we should value the inner person, and we could get along a lot better. And I think the society would be a lot more happier because the men and young boys are trained, and I use the word trained, to pursue that beautiful outside, but they ain't worth a dime on the inside. And that's why we have relationship problems because, you know, women, well, just say the pretty on the outside, it changes. And unless you have a trophy woman, you're going to change up because you're keeping up with that so-called style, you know. And some women get caught up being that trophy woman and not understanding why the man drop her for the next mile on the, you know, what we say, the next one on the shelf.
All right. Yeah, you're right. Thank you for that, Brother Coleman.
Be blessed, and look, happy holidays to all the listeners and to my morning crew.
And same to you, baby. Take it easy. Later. It's the Front Porch, y'all. WBOK 1230 AM. What New Orleans is talking about.
All day long.
Stick and stay, y'all. We got to take this break, but we will see you on the other side of it.
This is your news update for WBOK 1230 AM from WDSU. For all your news and weather, watch WDSU News, New Orleans' leader in live, local, late-breaking news. Today at noon and 4 p.m.
It's a WDSU first warning weather impact day because of fog. We're under a dense fog advisory as visibility this morning will dip to less than a mile. After the fog clears, expect partly cloudy skies with highs in the mid-70s. A cold front moves in later. We could see a few showers with that. Lows for tonight dip into the low 50s and then highs for Thursday into the mid-60s. From the WDSU First Warning Weather Center, I'm Raven Richard.
That's right. It's party time each and every Sunday night at 7 p.m. on WBOK. It's the Throwback Throwdown with DJ Wick as he brings you the best in old school from the 70s, 80s, 90s, and the early 2Ks. Plus, the party goes to another level at 9 p.m. with the Throwback Throwdown Party Mix to round out the night. It's the Throwback Throwdown Sunday nights at 7 p.m. on WBOK 1230 a.m. and on the World Wide Web at WBOK1230.com.
Metropolitan Human Services District wants to remind you that treatment is effective and everyone can recover. If you are looking for a recovery program and you live in the Orleans, St. Bernard, or Plaquemines Parish, visit mhsdla.org or call 504-568-3130. Recovery is possible, and MHSD is here to help. Metropolitan Human Services District, where we change lives.
Are you passionate about community safety and police accountability? Tune in to The Monitor's Mic, where we talk about oversight, policing, and you. Hosted by the Office of Independent Police Monitor, we're here to shine a light on policing issues that matter, from real-time policing updates to in-depth interviews. Get the facts and stay informed. We're breaking down complex issues, highlighting community voices, and holding people behind the badge accountable. Join us for an informative hour every Friday at noon on WBOK. Your city, your police, your show. The Monitor's Mic.
Greetings, WBOK family. This is Jason Clark, host of United Way and You. Be sure to tune in next Thursday at 12 p.m. when we'll be speaking with Melanie Richardson, co-founder and executive director of Training Grounds, a United Way funded partner. The topic will be the We Play, We Connect Family Resource Hub. Please tune in if you're able. Until then, we only have one life to live, so live united.
Visit DePaul's new Algiers Health Center at 2801 General de Gaulle Drive to receive primary and preventive care for both adults and children. Services also include behavioral health, imaging, and on-site pharmacy, vision, Medicaid enrollment assistance, and more. For appointments, visit DePaulCommunityHealthCenters.org or call 504-207-3060.
Tune in every Wednesday at 12 noon to What's Growing New Orleans. Hosted by Angel Vanderpool, What's Growing New Orleans is a weekly conversation about developing and growing Black businesses throughout the region. Brought to you by the New Orleans Regional Black Chamber of Commerce.
Welcome to Liberty Bank and Trust, where your financial journey transforms communities. Since 1972, our customized banking solutions power your dreams and fuel your community growth. Every dollar you invest with us circles back to empower more people, ensuring opportunities for generations. Join us at Liberty Bank. Together, we empower possibility. Visit libertybank.net to start banking with purpose. Liberty Bank, there's freedom here.
This is Dr. Jaquil Ross from New Schools for New Orleans, wishing everyone a warm and inviting holiday season.
You're on the Front Porch with WBOK 1230 AM.
Welcome back, y'all. It's the Front Porch, WBOK 1230 AM. What New Orleans is talking about.
All day long.
I'm your host, Graylin Brian Banks.
And I'm your host, Kimber White Dupree. Hey, y'all.
But Naira on the other side of the glass, bringing it to you. Marvin Cease. Come on now. Little Christmas cheer.
For the ballroom.
For the ballroom. From the candy liquor himself. What? That's what he's famous for.
And he is, for sure.
That's what he's famous for.
He is, for
His
sure.
His whole career was launched by a song that
I Want to Be
Your. And he wasn't talking about Joe Eminem. Well, he could have been.
He could have been.
He could have been. I don't know how he refers to your candy.
Oh,
but yes, Marvin C's got a little Christmas song, and you can play it for your people. Unlike candy liquor.
Boy.
You know, you can put that on at a holiday party. It depends on who your people are.
It depends. Yes. Yes, we are. We are
Baby.
talking about the city. This particular city, it depends on your people.
Oh, yeah.
You might very well hear this.
You might know. And people who you would never suspect singing it note for note. Say, wait a minute, Grandma. What you know? Oh, you better get out of my way. Yes, ma'am.
So, we have been talking about makeup and the need for, the non-need for, the witchcraft that comes along with it, because some of that it really is.
Oh, I've seen it. I've seen it.
For
it's
real.
scary.
That.
And I'm just, I mean, from plain to something totally different. But what's up underneath all that is the same from where you started from. And I mean, whole facial contours change.
It does.
They, I mean, it is art. I'm not, because I'm telling you, I work with professionals. I know what can be done. But I don't particularly am not drawn to that because I don't know what's there. I honestly don't know what's there, sir.
I'm sorry. Have we met? What is it that you?
I don't know.
I'm sorry.
No,
I'm not sure. What's
but again,
here,
if that's your thing and you like that, we were doing a campaign, man. I was sending people out to knock on doors and campaign. Was running a get out to vote thing, and man, we had a young lady that showed up every day. Now they was walking the street and knocking on doors
in the elements.
In the element outside and full beat every day. 6 days a week we was doing. Every day. Brows, lips, hair, edges, everything. Like, you must get up about 4:30 in the morning, huh?
When I went to work in a school, I did what Keisha Augustine would call the 5-minute face. And that would be brows, Burt's Bees, maybe something with a tint, and concealer, or a what is it called? The tinted sunscreen. That's it. Not doing anything else. And that's just to make me look alert for kids, because in my mind I'm still asleep. I just look present. Outside of that, any other layers, especially with the elements, in and out of heat and cool, the wind, all of that. I'm doing a job. So if you're watching how my face is staying together, you focusing on the wrong thing, or I have gotten your focus on to the wrong thing, and it's a no. It's a no.
Yeah.
Because after a while, you've been like you being on sets. After a while, it's like you want to start wiping that off or taking the layers off, like wanting to peel your face.
I've worn prosthetic makeup, blood, cuts and gush and all that kind of stuff. Trust me, when you see folks in the movies and that, I ain't trying to get you to feel sorry for them, but it ain't easy. Let me tell you, under them lights and yeah,
And especially for people who do theater.
Oh yeah.
The theater makeup is even more, and it's damaging. Like it takes a toll on your skin. So for people who like to present a full face, I mean, I'm not knocking you. I just can't sign up for that. That is not for me.
Shouts out to the MUAs who hang around afterwards when they say cut and to
And have to
welcome
remove-
everybody in and
yeah.
remove all that because it's a little bit more difficult once you get home. You're by yourself.
Mhm.
Yeah, let the professionals do it. The Front Porch, y'all. WBOK 1230 AM. What New Orleans is talking about.
All day long.
Don't go nowhere, y'all. We got some company coming, so stick and stay. It's Bad Cheering Wednesday. We're going to see you on the other side of the break.
From the campus of Xavier University. WBOK 1230 AM.
Go.
An Equity Media Station.
This news report is brought to you by New Schools for New Orleans.
I'm Bree Wood with 4 things you should know from BIN News. A 7.3 magnitude earthquake in the Pacific Island nation Vanuatu damaged the U.S. Embassy and caused communication outages, killing more than one person. All U.S. Embassy personnel safely evacuated. Congress will vote this week on a stopgap spending bill that includes new restrictions on U.S. investments in Chinese technology and AI aimed at protecting national security. The NBA All-Star Game will feature a new format this season, a 3-game tournament between 4 teams, including the Rising Stars winner. Honorary GMs include Charles Barkley, Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny Smith, and Candace Parker. The event is on February 16th in San Francisco, California. And Universal Pictures has renamed next year's Wicked sequel to Wicked for Good. The film covering the second act of the Broadway musical will be released on November 21st, 2025. Get BIN News on demand 24/7 at BINnews.com.
New Schools for New Orleans wants to send a huge congratulations to all of our educators, students, and families of New Orleans for their continuous academic growth. School performance scores have been released from the state. For the first time in many years, there are no failing schools in New Orleans Public Schools. As a district, our performance increased by 4 points. In addition, Orleans Parish now exceeds pre-COVID school performance score for all students by 6.2 points. When you see a teacher, school leader, or student, be sure to show them some love.
You're on the Front Porch with WBOK 1230 AM.
Welcome back, y'all. It's the Front Porch. WBOK 1230 AM. What New Orleans is talking about.
All day long.
I'm your host, Graylin Bryant Banks.
And I'm your host, Kimber White Dupree. Hey, y'all.
Brother Naira's on the other side of the glass, y'all. Bringing it to you right here on this Bad Cheering Wednesday. Thank you for sticking with us as we roll right into this second hour of today's episode of the Front Porch. Continuing our broadcast from the idyllic campus of Xavier University from our studios right here at the foot of the overpass on South Norman C. Francis Parkway. So you know we home. www.wbok1230.com is the address if you want to stop on by or give us a call. 504-582-9422 is the talk line number. You can holler at your people on this bad cheer on Wednesday. Kimba.
Yes, sir.
We got company.
We sure do.
Yeah, you told the people we was going to have a little company.
A lot today.
Got a lot of company today because it's Bad Cheering Wednesday, and we celebrates bad cheering.
Of course.
Right here. You want to introduce our guest?
Sure. I would love to introduce our guest. It's Miss Frizzle. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. We have Dr. Melanie Askew, who is the founder and leader of Elan Academy, which is located on the West Bank of New Orleans. And she is here, one, to share some information about the school and also share about some developments and some activities that'll be coming up soon with the students over at Elan. So welcome to the Front Porch. Good morning, Soror.
Good morning, Soror. And
What's up, Doc?
you. Hey, thank you for having me. I'm
pleasure.
super excited to be here with you all and talk about the great things that are happening at Elan Academy.
Elan Academy. Great enthusiasm and spirit. Elan, just, that's.
Did your research?
I got a little vocabulary. You understand?
We do a little bit.
We do a little bit
over here.
I ain't really had to look it up. I kind of had to understand it. It's one of them descriptors that you use to flirt.
Yeah. Oh,
You may
well, we
possess
flirting
a
with
certain
education.
Elan. Yes, of course. Absolutely. So tell us a little bit about that and how it started and how did it come to be?
Great. So I founded Elan in 2017, really under the premise of my own educational experiences. When I graduated from college, my siblings are cheering me on and rooting me on, but they didn't have that same experience. And so when I'm reflecting on why me, it's not that I'm just this gifted child. I had a golden ticket. My father died my 8th grade year, and my mom used Social Security funding she was getting to send me to a private college prep high school.
Okay.
So college was the only option from there. But my siblings, they didn't have that opportunity. And so when we look at this education system, they should have had the choice to choose whether they wanted to go to college, want to go to the military, be an entrepreneur, whatever you want to do.
Trade, whatever you want to do. Yeah.
You should be prepared to do it.
That's right.
Not the system choosing for you.
Correct.
So how do we create schools that's not the case, right? We hold the bar high. That's where the birth of Elan comes from. Okay. It's driven in the mindset of, yes, college starts in kindergarten under the premise that we want you to have those foundational skills so that you can thrive, that you're prepared for high school. And then we're trusting the high schools to do your work, right? Do your job. So then from there, they have the opportunity to choose.
Correct.
Yeah, so Elan is a small boutique school. It's intentionally small. It's like Cheers, where everybody knows your name. Right? You come in, we greet every scholar by their name in the morning, and we know our families. Community is important to us. Algiers is such a special place, and we know our community, and our community knows us. And it's really a village. When we say it's a village, y'all.
So now that Elan has been around since 2017, so you're in your 7th academic year?
Eight. This is your 8th.
Okay, your 8th academic year. What, beyond the growth and, of course, the increase in grades, what have you seen from its beginnings on, where you all were down the street from what is now Landry?
Yes, we started in Schwartz, a small building. We were a little school under the bridge. We've moved 3 locations in 3 years. We were there. Then we moved to Fisher. And now we're at Rosenwall in the cutoff. Yes, and with that, each move, we've grown. Our demographics have changed. We continue to support all our scholars. And in each space we move to, our families, they come with us, and it's a great thing to be where we are. We just graduated our first 8th grade class last year, so that's exciting to see. Many of them started with me in second grade.
Okay.
And so to watch them grow up in the schools that they've landed at, they come back and it's like, oh, we've got alumni now. Like, you know, they show up. We just had our first parade in Harahan, like our band and everything. And so to see them cheer them on is full circle.
Oh,
it's full
that
circle.
is beautiful.
And not only that, you guys are actually kicking butt when it comes to education. You outperforming everybody.
We're working hard.
Yeah. It's a beautiful thing, though. I mean, it just shows what can be done with the proper foundation and the proper motivation.
Definitely. We take to heart knowing where every student is when they come into our building and creating an individualized learning plan for that student, whether you are a high academic achiever or if you're behind, right? We want to meet you where you are and say, this is what we're going to do for you. We have a 2-teacher model in our lower school, so those classrooms have 2 teachers in it. That gives us an extra person in there when you're struggling on that problem. I'm there to support you. If you're getting off task, I'm there to remind you, like, hey, we got work to do. And so those are some of the things that help. And then we also do a lot of small group rotations because we have that extra person in the classroom. We also teach Latin, right?
Okay.
Yes.
Romantic languages.
Yes. It's our classical approach. And some people see that as a dead language, but for us, it is really understanding the roots of the word.
That's absolutely. Etymology.
Yes. You already know.
Oh, I love that because I know the power. I've seen today a lot of kids. They're very verbal. They can even from a young age.
Yeah.
They can talk and they can and it makes you think that they are very wise and very smart kids, but put a book in front of them. And the reading is not there. The reading ability does not match that speaking ability because speaking ability comes from television and all this stuff.
Yeah.
You hear it and you learn how to give it right back.
Right.
But reading and Latin, knowing words and roots of words, that's the more, for me, that's the standard that should be met. Your ability to speak is one thing, but your ability to read and comprehend and understand, that is what's going to give you the foundation that's necessary.
With regards to vocabulary, there are a lot of different types of vocabulary. And of course, most kids have some sort of access to devices. And because they have the access to those devices, their speaking vocabulary, their academic vocabulary, and also their what supports them with their comprehension of language. There are multiple areas for them to grow that. But I just read a study where I think students who were college freshmen or even high school seniors have not read over 20 books in its entirety because there's not the need for them to go from cover to cover anymore. However, with us knowing that and with hearing at your school that you're teaching the origins of some words, because a lot of language begin with Latin origins, and so that would aid in the comprehension. But like Graylin said, we just don't have a lot of reading. The instructional comprehension is there, but that's also guided. But a lot of what you're expected for kids to accomplish by the end of an academic school year, oftentimes it has to be with assistance because they're not getting all of the opportunities to be able to do it independently.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And for our model, we're a classical education model for the 21st century. And so we understand the importance of blending the old, which is that Latin piece, that classical piece, with the new, and that's that technology. Right?
Yeah.
And so, we have the one-to-one computers. Our students have access to programs that adapt to their knowledge levels that they utilize throughout the school day. We also teach coding, right? That's another language now,
Absolutely.
right? And
Absolutely.
especially
That's another
here in Louisiana. I mean, they've actually made it a language.
Right.
And so we expose our scholars to a breadth of things because we want them to be well-rounded and have that extra piece.
How do the students respond to the Latin? I just haven't heard that emphasis on basic languages. And when do you start? What grade do you start
Kindergarten.
Good. Yes.
We start in kindergarten, and they
Yes.
start singing songs in Latin.
In Latin in kindergarten.
And a lot of the parents are caught off guard. They're like, "What about Spanish?" And I'm like, "Yeah, we offer these other things too,
Yeah.
but Latin is the root.
It's root.
Mm-hmm.
It's going
the
to be able to
root.
get
We're gonna-
everywhere.
And they respond well to it because it's a confidence booster.
Yes.
If I'm a sixth grader and I'm speaking with my friends from other schools and I know Latin, it's like, hey,
I'm
yeah,
Well,
yeah. What
you
y'all
are.
learning that? Yeah,
It's
right.
Elon.
And so they have pride in their school because of it.
Yes,
And
yes.
we had an open house not too long ago, and one of our scholar council members led the tour. And she got to the Latin room, and one of the parents that was interested in the school asked, like, "You really learn Latin?" And she said, "Yeah." She said, "Can you speak it?" She said, "Yes." And she started speaking in Latin, and everybody was incredibly impressed. And she was a fourth grader.
A fourth
Wow.
grade.
Absolutely.
That's beautiful.
Y'all doing some things.
Yes.
Y'all doing some
That
things.
is absolutely beautiful. Now, we have an upcoming we have a program, or we have
Yes,
some
this-
presentation of some hard work that has been going in with us, with the students, and they're ready to showcase that. Tell us about that.
Yes, we have a showcase this evening, our holiday showcase. It is at 6:30 p.m. And the whole community is invited. We have some songs in Latin that we'll be saying. We're debuting our jazz band, which is super exciting. Every grade level has something that they're going to present. This entire week was our Spirit Week. Today is Storybook Character Day, which is why I'm dressed as Miss Frizzle. You know, anything for the kids, right?
Absolutely.
And so it is going to be a great show. We would love to have people out, especially if you're just interested in seeing a line, learning about the school. We have enrollment happening right now. Enrollment is open, and we enroll pre-K 4 through 8th grade.
When is and where is the program this evening?
It is at Align Academy, 6501 Berkeley Drive in the Cutoff. Come check us out.
Berkeley Drive in the Cutoff.
Yes.
And you're starting at 6?
6:30. 6:30 p.m. Open to the public.
And for folks who want to get more information about the programs and the things that are being offered, the Latin, because now you've got me interested. I've got several small humans that are in my orbit, so that's good to know. How would folks get more information about the school, yourself, and all the programs that are offered?
They can start at our website, alignacademy.org. That's ELAN academy.org. We also post heavily on social media. Our Instagram, which is Align Academy NOLA.
Align Academy NOLA. So
NOLA. NOLA.
And you're on Instagram.
Yes.
None
Instagram,
of the other ones? You ain't
Facebook.
TikToking
We're
and all that kind of
Align
stuff
Academy
yet?
NOLA on Facebook. We're not TikToking yet. Our students might be doing a little TikToking,
All right,
but you can check us out there.
Facebook and Instagram.
Yes.
All right. And the website.
Website, alignacademy.org.
alignacademy.org. This has been fascinating, Doc, because the things that you are offering the kids, I think, are preparing them for a world where they're going to have a need of that foundation more so than we did. More so than we did, because in a world where prevarication has become the norm, truth telling is revolutionary, and you're giving them a solid foundation to read and learn history and understand the truth, because you can't hide it forever, especially when you know how to speak the languages that were being written when the history was being made.
You are absolutely correct. And so I'm just privileged to do the work. I wake up every day, eat, breathe, and live Align. And I love our scholars, our families, everything. It's just a beautiful thing. It's rewarding work.
The education piece been a part of your life? From a little kid, as you always wanted to know that being an educator was something that you wanted to do?
Yes, in fact, when I was a kid, I got in trouble one time because I always wanted my cousins to be the students, and I wanted to be the teacher. And my mom said, "I told you, you can't always be the teacher." She said, "You looked at me and said, well, I'll be the principal then." She said I had to be in my second grade, so clearly here I am following in those footsteps.
Yes,
yes, but
that's all right.
Alana is big on educate, equip, and empower. So we're going to educate, we equip our students with the confidence to do what they need to do, and we want to empower you to be that leader. That's what we do.
Do you find that there's a culture of affirmation or reaffirming students there? Because I know the confidence of being able to speak Latin when other students may be taking other languages, but Latin is definitely not one that many schools are still teaching. I think St. Mary's is the only other school maybe in the city that's still teaching Latin. But is there, I guess, a culture of affirming and reaffirming as kids are facing obstacles or facing challenges, because that's what life is about?
Absolutely.
What's the culture around that at Alana?
I think it's a big piece of our community. One thing I tell my teachers day one doing professional development is you never look past a student in this building, even if you're just walking beyond, because too often Black students in America, Black people, we are looked past. We are ignored. Credentials and all don't matter. They will ignore. Like, do not look past our students. You don't know what kind of day they're having. You want to affirm. And so even if you're correcting behavior, we're reaffirming, you got this. Like, I'm going to get you on the end. I may correct you ahead, but I know you can do it. I know you can do it. Even in our morning meetings, our character development that we do, one of the big pieces that we tell students, like, who taught you to hate yourself? Right? We go all the way back to Malcolm X. Who taught you to hate yourself?
Choice of
like,
colors.
We're not teaching you that.
That's
Where
right.
are you getting it? So I want you to know who you are, where you come from, beyond slavery. We're not going to stop that. We're going to keep going back, right? That's not where we started. But the world wants you to believe that.
That's right.
And that will get you in a mindset of having some internal oppression that we're not going to have at a line. We're not going to have that at a line. So we're going to empower you. That's part of that empowerment piece of knowing where you came from.
Yes.
I like that. Y'all raising revolutionaries over there.
We're trying.
I like that. I'm down with subversive. I've been one of them people my whole self-life.
Come
you understand?
on.
Because let me tell you something. Knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. And I don't care where you go. When you got that base, when you got that foundation, they can't touch you.
Yeah.
They can't touch you.
Absolutely.
Dr. Melanie asked you, Elan, is it Academy?
Yes.
Elan Academy,
Yes,
thank you so much for taking the time out of a very busy day during Spirit Week to come and share what's going on. You've got an open invitation to come and join us here on the Front Porch whenever you've got anything going on.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you all so much.
Absolutely.
Give them that
6:30
information.
tonight.
That's what I was about to say. 6:30 at 6501 Berkeley Drive in the cutoff,
And
right?
the cutoff, come on.
There you go. Come holler at your people.
All right.
It's the Front Porch, y'all. WBOK 1230 a.m. What New Orleans is talking about.
All day long.
Stick and stay, y'all. We got to take this break, but we will see you on the other side of it.
Hey, New Orleans, Tavis Smiley here, inviting you to join me each weekday evening at 7 p.m. right here on WBOK 1230 a.m. for the Tavis Smiley Show. You can expect great guests and getting the answers you need to know. It's the Tavis Smiley Show on our new home in New Orleans, WBOK 1230 a.m.
Tavis Smiley. Ranked number 45 on the Heavy 100 list of the 100 most important radio talk show hosts in America.
Good morning and happy Wednesday. I'm Morgan Lentis with WDSU News, and here's a look at today's headlines. Yesterday's multi-car pileup on the causeway is coming into clearer focus this morning. We've learned 20 people were hurt, 11 of whom were transported to hospitals on the North Shore, and more than 50 cars were involved in 6 separate accidents. Officials say dense fog set in fast, causing those crashes and ultimately prompting the bridge to be shut down in both directions for several hours. More dense fog is in the forecast today, so slow down and don't drive distracted on your morning commute. Today, former New Orleans priest Lawrence Hecker will receive a mandatory life sentence. Earlier this month, Hecker pleaded guilty to rape and kidnapping charges ahead of his trial. The charges stem from crimes committed decades earlier. Pleading guilty means Hecker faces that mandatory life sentence. Then a precautionary boil water advisory remains in effect in the lower Ninth Ward. The Sewerage and Water Board says water pressure dropped in the area Tuesday morning, causing the advisory. Water pressure has been restored and water quality samples are now being tested. But this morning you need to boil your water for a full minute before using it. We will update you on WDSU.com when that advisory is lifted. And that's a look at today's headlines. I'm Morgan Lentis with WDSU News. Have a great day.
The New Orleans
stay
Jazz
safe.
and Heritage Foundation is the nonprofit organization that owns the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival presented by Shell. With the funds generated from Jazz Fest, the foundation invests in Louisiana companies through economic development, cultural enrichment, and free educational programs. To learn more about what the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation does, please visit www.jazzandheritage.org.
Hi, this is Cary Grant. Let's elevate every Tuesday through Thursday from 6 to 7 p.m. as we discuss the community, the country, and the world, from politics to current events and sports. We look forward to your input and continuing the quality programming on your community station, WBOK. Join us every Tuesday through Thursday, 6 to 7 p.m. on Elevated Conversations, the Arnie and Cary Show.
Are you ready to make a difference in your community? Join me, Randy Chambliss, and my co-hosts Dion Dana and Barry Mallory on Helping the Village Radio Show, where we raise awareness, advocate for real solutions, and coordinate supportive services to prevent and reduce homelessness. We're connecting the dots to build stronger, thriving communities. Tune in every first and third Saturday at 2 p.m. as we collaborate with local leaders, real estate investors, and nonprofits, working together to provide hope and opportunity for those in need. Helping the Village Radio Show, empowering change one community at a time.
This is Andronika Morris, host of Put Housing First. Join us every Tuesday at 12 o'clock, where we will discuss how housing affects every aspect of our lives and what's necessary, what's needed to guarantee housing for all. Join us every Tuesday at 12 o'clock as we dig down deep onto the issues that affect all of us.
Keep up with NOLA Public Schools through Education Elevation. Education Elevation will highlight the achievements, innovations, and contributions of scholars, educators, schools, and the district. Tune in every fourth Wednesday at 11:30 a.m. for engaging conversations and updates as we strengthen connections and support the needs of our scholars. Mark your calendars for every fourth Wednesday at 11:30 a.m.
Hi, this is Troy Henry, one of the owners of WBOK and Equity Media. And on behalf of myself, my family, and my company, Henry Consulting, we'd like to wish you a very, very, very happy holiday.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM. You're on the Front Porch with WBOK 1230 AM.
Come Santa Claus.
Welcome back, y'all. The Front Porch, WBOK 1230 AM. What New Orleans is talking about.
All day long.
I'm your host, Graylin Brian Banks.
And I'm your host, Kimber White Dupree. Hey, y'all.
Brother Naira's on the other side of the glass, y'all. Bringing it to you right here on this Bad Cheering Wednesday. It's a great interview right there with Dr. Melanie Askew of the Elan Academy, teaching kindergarten Latin. I love that. I love that. I'm telling you, I got some little humans. I might have to look into that.
Listen.
I'm telling you, I'm digging the program. They're beating the scores. They're doing a lot of stuff and reading.
And it is in a building that has received a lot of care and love in renovations because it's in the old Rosenwald building in the cutoff. And that building has been there for a long time.
All right.
But they have taken a lot of care and love in remodeling or renovating and making sure that it's a building that's suitable for these young learners with the applying of the old and the application of the new.
I love it, man. For something like that, I would commute to the West Bank. You're welcome.
It would be worth it.
I know. Bad Cheering Wednesday, y'all. We got company, Kimber.
Yes, we do. Some more.
Yes, indeed. We got more company. You thought it was a joke. I told y'all we was chock full of company today. You understand? We are joined by two gentlemen who will talk about the Hot Boys of Comedy Christmas show on December 20th.
Yes.
At the New Orleans Jazz Market. Now, something on this paper that they put in front of me says something about the Callio. What that's about?
Wow.
Yeah, all right. Look. I ain't scared, though. Look, I know that cut too.
That's my front porch right there.
Yes, sir. That Callio?
Yeah, for sure.
That's a beautiful thing, baby. That's a beautiful thing. Gentlemen, introduce yourselves.
This is Callio Bo. I'm the founder, top promoter of the Hot Boys of Comedy.
All right.
And me, I'm Shotty Feel Good. You ain't never feel good till you Shotty Feel Good. I'm just his worker.
Hey, bro, everybody got to have one. You got a good boss?
I mean, nobody really like the boss.
When you're on the radio and your boss sitting next to you and they ask you, do you like him? You're supposed to say, he's the greatest thing since pockets, man. I'm telling you right now.
My mama told me don't lie.
But you lie right now.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, indeed, man. The Hot Boys of Comedy. How that came about?
Me and Shotty got together and had a conversation. It was about bringing New Orleans comedy back to the forefront. I just felt like it was a lot of untapped territory in our city with all the culture that we got, and we just got some dope musicians and comedians and actors, and I just been trying to bridge that gap.
All right. Now, your background as a producer gave you that, or this your first foray? You did music or something before you started?
Yeah, I started in music. Then I started putting on concerts.
Okay, right on.
Rest in peace, OG Rufus. Like Rufus gave me the game with booking myself, and then I just started going on the road with that and just built all the relationships up.
Rufus, what was the last name?
Rufus Johnson.
Rufus Johnson. Why I know that name?
Bell bonds.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
yes,
you've been there a few times or two.
No, I sent some people over there. Don't you on me slow? We're going to talk later. Yes, sir. But he put on a lot of concerts. That was your mentor.
Yeah.
That's beautiful, man. We talk about that all the time. We talk about it here on the show because it's the Front Porch. Y'all from here. Both of you know. You're from the Cali. You know how the porch is. That's where you get all your information. That's where you get your knowledge. That's where you learn. And that's where you share. Right? And that's what we talk about all the time, having that opportunity to learn from somebody like Brother Johnson to give you the game. And right now, I know he's smiling down, looking at you, saying you keeping it up. You took what you were taught and you putting it on the path to make something bigger.
For sure.
All right.
Now, he probably looking. I don't know if he's smiling, but he's definitely looking.
Well, if he can see down there, he might be smiling. I would be, I would be. Yes, indeed, man.
So we have a comedy show that is coming up. It's a holiday comedy show, and this is your second year putting on this comedy show. And like we talked about, its beginnings and why you were putting it together to bring back or to find a place to I guess, collaborate with other New Orleans talent, because you named musicians, you named rappers, you named actors, and you are pulling all of these people together. This year, you're asking for people to bring unwrapped gifts to benefit the city youth. Why was that important for you to add that to the comedy or the feel good of things that you're trying to create among the artists?
Because we know like the whole city going through it, and we just want to bring laughter and bring some cheer and put some smiles on some face. So if I was bringing a toy to a front door, put a smile on one of these unfortunate kids' face. We doing a deep freezer giveaway too. So we doing a deep freezer giveaway with Governor Monster, and we gonna give them a gift certificate to go shop up and stock it up for Christmas.
So you're gonna give away a deep freezer, and literal deep freezer, and then give the people the ability to stock it.
Yeah.
Because that's the Christmas gift that's going to keep on giving.
Absolutely.
That's a year's old.
Sustainability.
That's a lot of, that's great, man. That's the toys I'm into.
Right.
But I've never, that's the first I've heard that, a deep freezer giveaway.
Yeah, that's Clarence with the good parents idea over here. That's Shotty.
Yeah.
That's Shotty call?
Yeah, man.
So you ain't just funny.
Oh no, I'm sexy. I'm a whole bunch of other things, man. Don't miss the obvious things that I am doing. Come on now, brother. What you doing? Yeah, man. But yeah,
It concerns me that the first thing you went to was sexy, but we gonna talk about that later. I didn't know. I just said I gave you funny.
I didn't know you could think like that. You didn't come across as a thinker.
That's true. That's called country dump. You keep them guessing. You understand?
But yeah, man. You know, I just know growing up, a lot of kids didn't have a lot of things, and so I mean. Any chance that you can, you try to make somebody's life better by doing what you can. And sometimes it's the little things that make big changes in the community.
Absolutely. It's the small things you remember. Now, Shada, how do you use that, this New Orleans connection, this culture, because how do you use that in your comedy? Or do you? Do you draw a lot from this whole New Orleans deal?
So I draw comedy from real life, things I go through on a daily basis. I mean, yeah, I do go through a lot of things here in New Orleans. I mean, I'm a part of the struggle. I mean, I ain't above the struggle.
Right.
I mean,
right. None of us are.
Yeah, I mean, the way I look at it, like we all struggling in some form or fashion. I mean, so what I try to talk about is just real life, the things that I feel like people are going through on a daily basis, and I try to make people laugh at their pain as much as I can.
When you knew you was funny?
My whole life.
Trust me, that's not a facetious question, because comedy is a gift. Yeah. Comedy is a gift, and I find people who have been gifted that gift of comedy see stuff real, and the comedy is a way to kind of soften that, because you know what I'm saying? Yeah. If you laugh so you won't cry.
Yeah, I mean, so when I do see things that most people probably going through, and it's probably pain to them, I've always been gifted with a way to find the funny, and I mean, it is a gift, and so I mean, I don't take it for granted. I mean, I've done a lot of awkward situations. I performed at funerals. I mean, and, you know, it was requests from, you know, people who had come to shows and was like, man, I would want him to perform. And I was nervous about it at first. If you think about the magnitude of the moment of what the people going through, but you know, still being able to find the funny in that is
it's a gift.
Yeah, it's a gift.
That's in the midst of that, because that's the first. Because I've never heard
at
a comedian perform at a funeral.
I never heard it.
I never heard of that.
While the body right there.
You ribbed the body?
No.
Because everything in New Orleans is a joke.
It's joke.
We don't take things
you
seriously.
open for it. But the person, the deceased, must have been the fan, and the family wanted to give pay homage, or I guess that's what they wanted. And
So what's crazy? So is a friend of the family. And, they lived in Houston, and I had a show in Houston. We came to the show that night, and didn't wake the next morning.
No.
Yeah, and so You know, they were kind of like, you know, that was one of the only things that he would go to. He was kind of homebody, wouldn't go anywhere. And when I always would come to town, he was like, man, I want to go to the show. I want to go to the show. So, you know, I guess that was his way of sending himself out with a laugh.
With a laugh. Man, that's heavy, cuz.
Yeah.
That's wow, because for you to have that takes a lot to stand up at a funeral and try to relieve that with your gift. Because you know sometimes the gift don't work.
No, the gift work.
The gift work. No, the artist that don't work is their problem.
The gift gonna work.
The gift work is your problem.
If you got a gift,
Right, but that should have been kind of daunting, man, because the idea that you might not be at your best at this. This it's not, you know, it's one thing to get on stage and say, well, I might have, but that's, you know, but that just is different. And that's
right.
Shouts out to them. Glad you got through it.
That's actually, when you're dealing with losing people, we often will cloud their real life for what you're giving reverence for. So the need to laugh and have a catharsis in that moment I see where that would be appropriate, because if you said this person is always, you know, was a person who didn't really go anywhere but did go to comedy shows, there's some laughter, like, you know, yeah, you know, we laughing right now because this is the only place that would have been, and you need that relief, because grieving, the anxiety about grieving, you need a space to be able to put your shoulders down and at least have, in the very least, a chuckle.
At least
That's
a great
man.
Listen,
Chuckle.
I am not planning on leaving here no time soon. Lord, you hear your child.
Not with that T.
But yeah. I like that. But I know I'm strange. I've been strange my whole life, and I'm cool with it. But no, I like that idea. I love the idea of trying to let people know it's gonna be all right. Because that's basically what you're doing is. Ain't nobody gonna get past what my man did.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And y'all are here right now.
So let's
be right here shortly.
You could be. I mean, he came to see your show that night.
Yeah, I know, right? Who knew?
You killed the crowd dead that night, huh?
At least one though.
But again, we're grieving the people who have passed on, but like we're still here. And you have the ability to laugh. Let's capitalize on that, because they can't. And just having somebody to be able to take that air out of that, for you to be like wiping your tears, but then like you're right. You know, having that good release, that is definitely something to be celebrated. So he's open for bookings. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit more about what's going on, man, with the show. When and where is it going to be? How can folks get information? How can they find out more about what's going on?
It's December 20th at the New Orleans Jazz Market on Aretha Castle Hill and Martin Luther King.
That's the blackest corner in the city.
It is.
Uptown.
Bring
you
it
home.
Know.
At the second annual, we're doing comedy, R&B, and karaoke.
Okay.
So we got Street Talk. We got Two Real Mac That Feed. We got Rude Jew. We got Mario P. We got Shy That Feel Good. Kill 'Em Dead. So don't laugh too much. And you know, it's the Hot Boys of Comedy Christmas show. And you can get tickets at thehotboysofcomedy.com.
Yeah, I'm proud of you, bro. You did that, bro.
I did my job this time.
Yeah, he did his job last time. He ain't give no information on how to buy the ticket or nothing. He just
we wasn't gonna let you get out of here without that, dude. That's why y'all come. It is man, this is a great interview, and I'm so glad that you are forwarding the whole idea of entrepreneurship, doing it by yourself, for yourself, with the help from your people. But I've been talking about that. If you don't have a Project 2025, you better start your run. Mm-hmm. And y'all seem to have one, because this isn't your only event, is it? You do other things doing.
No, we just come out tour for the whole year of 2024. We started last Christmas at the Jazz Market, and then we took it on the road.
Okay.
So now we're bringing it back home.
And this is the comedy. So you start, because this is the second annual. This is the second one. You started last year and then took that on tour?
Yeah.
How was the tour, man?
Oh, the tour was great, man. We were on the road with them. All you do is laugh.
Yes, indeed.
We then went to Dallas, Thibodeau, Hammond, Atlanta. We done went around some places, Baton Rouge. We took it. Yeah, we had a good, successful tour.
Yeah.
That's excellent.
Yeah, let the boss talk on.
Oh no. You on the tour? I was gonna ask you about.
He making me see. Yeah, we had an amazing time. Yeah.
I was gonna ask you for the dirt. Now look, you got the commercial. Tell me how it really was.
Yeah, we had an amazing time. But yeah, man, the tour is a great tour. I feel like it's a show. It's a must-see show. If you never seen me perform, I think you're doing yourself an injustice. I think you should come out and come see what I got to deliver to the world. Come see my gift.
Come see your gift. Yeah, man, you
and
can
bring
take
a
that
gift.
one with you. You can take that one with you.
Oh yeah, all right. Yeah, appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Now,
don't
look,
forget to
how
bring a
much you
gift.
charging for that?
Nothing.
All right.
Tis the season.
All right.
Just I could not charge you because your stock went up and split after the funeral gig.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I can't charge you after the funeral gig because I would be insulting my gift. I understand you, man. I've got to tell you because I done heard a lot of things over a lot of years, but that, my friend, is a first. But I like the idea. Stand up at a funeral. I like the idea because it just, I like that.
It's appropriate.
I think it's appropriate. Other
appropriate.
people might not, but I think it is so, especially depending on the person who is the guest of honor.
Absolutely.
If that person was a funny person, why would you come to a funeral with somebody who's known or love to laugh and everybody crying?
Right.
Don't nobody laugh.
Right.
Laugh because that's what this person would have been doing.
Absolutely.
Right.
Well, when you think about when families get together, that's usually what they do. Reminisce on the funny. Man, y'all remember when?
Yep.
And you know what I'm saying?
Deep laughs.
And those times, that's from
real laughs.
Yeah,
That's
that's
right.
grabbing your neighbor
That's
and
right.
shaking
That's
them
right.
laughter,
That's right.
You know?
That's
So,
right. It's the truth.
Yeah.
Well, y'all be here on Friday, 20th of December, 2024, at the New Orleans Jazz Market on Martin Luther King and Aretha Castle Haley for the Hot Boys of Comedy Christmas show, starting at what time?
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock start. Go to the hotboysofcomedy.com to get tickets. Gentlemen, thank y'all so much. You got an open invitation right here on the front porch. You got anything else going on, come on back and we'll share that news with the folks, all right?
All right. Thank you, man. I
Thank
appreciate
y'all for
it.
being here, man.
And that's hotboysofcomedy.com. And if those of you who are attending, please bring an unwrapped gift to contribute to the youth of our city.
You got to share to get his gift, you got to bring a gift.
There you go.
That
That's
ain't
love.
bad. It's the Front Porch, y'all. WBOK 1230 AM, what New Orleans is talking about.
All day long.
Stick and stay. Y'all don't go nowhere. We're going to take this break and we're going to see you on the other side of it.
This is your news update for WBOK 1230 AM from WDSU. For all your news and weather, watch WDSU News, New Orleans' leader in live, local, late-breaking news. Today at noon and 4 p.m.
It's a WDSU first warning weather impact day because of fog. We're under a dense fog advisory as visibility this morning will dip to less than a mile. After the fog clears, expect partly cloudy skies with highs in the mid-70s. A cold front moves in later. We could see a few showers with that. Lows for tonight dip into the low 50s and then highs for Thursday into the mid-60s. From the WDSU first First Warning Weather Center,
Did you
I'm
know
Raven
that you
Richard.
can now listen to your favorite show whenever you want? How? Just go to www.wbok1230.com. Click on the Talk tab and select your favorite show. There you'll see your favorite host and the show from each day. And be sure to follow us on Facebook at WBOK1230AM, Instagram at WBOK.1230, and TikTok at WBOK1230AM.
Want to play a game with me and Dad?
Mommy's not feeling good.
You need to vaporize that cold.
Vaporize?
Yeah, with Dayquil VapoCool. It's Dayquil plus a rush of Vicks vapors.
Whoa.
Come on, honey. Let's let Mommy rest.
You guys are amazing. And so is Dayquil VapoCool.
Dayquil VapoCool, the vaporizing daytime coughing, aching, fever, power through your day medicine. And to vaporize sore throat pain, try Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Join the conversation Friday, December 20th, with Kelvin Luster from Homebank during the Good Morning Show at 8:30 a.m. Don't miss Kelvin Luster from Homebank live on the Good Morning Show Friday, December 20th at 8:30 a.m.
Jefferson Performing Arts presents The Nutcracker on stage at the Jefferson Performing Arts Center, December 21st and 22nd. Experience the magic of the holidays with this spectacular production of The Nutcracker, featuring guest artists and local performers too. Accompanied by a live orchestra. Be enchanted by the classic tale of Clara's Christmas Eve journey and experience her adventures with the Nutcracker Prince, the Mouse King, and the Sugar Plum Fairy. Get your tickets now at Ticketmaster.com.
Visit DePaul's new Algiers Health Center at 2801 General de Gaulle Drive to receive primary and preventive care for both adults and children. Services also include behavioral health, imaging, and on-site pharmacy, vision, Medicaid enrollment assistance, and more. For appointments, visit DePaulCommunityHealthCenters.org or call 504-207-3060.
Hello, I'm Gary Clark. Please tune in to Dr. Clark 101, The Living Classroom, which is broadcasted weekly every Wednesday at 12:30 p.m. on WBOK 1230 AM on your dial. And as always, it's been a pleasure.
WBOK is pleased to announce the reboot of Crosstown Conversations with host Gene Nathan, a heightened focus on cultural entertainment events and the creators who present them. The new time is now Saturday at noon. Tune into the stories of our exploding creative scene with Gene Nathan on Crosstown Conversations.
The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation is the nonprofit organization that owns the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival, presented by Shell. With the funds generated from Jazz Fest, the foundation invests in Louisiana communities through economic development, cultural enrichment, and free educational programs. To learn more about the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation, please visit us at www.jazzandheritage.org.
Hi, this is Wendell Pierce, partner at WBOK, and I'd like to wish
back, y'all. It's the Front Porch, WBOK 1230 AM, what New Orleans is talking about.
All day long.
I'm your host, Graylin Bryant Banks.
And I'm your host, Kimber White Dupree. Hey, y'all.
Brother Nyron's on the other side of the glass, y'all. Right back here. Bad cheering Wednesday. Back to back to back, and we ain't done yet. We got more for you.
Yes, we do.
That's right. All kind of stuff going on. That's going to be great, though, man. That's going to be a pretty funny show. The Hot Boys of Comedy Christmas show. Friday night up at the Jazz Market. Should be funny, man. I tell you, stand up at a funeral.
That's going to be with you. That's stuck with you.
I love that.
If you've ever seen those Shoddy, it's appropriate. It's
listen.
very appropriate. I have, he has done sets in church.
Yeah, you should.
But I'm saying, like, just after a regular service, just to have a set in church, and just as funny, not blue.
No,
just,
we don't want work blue at a church.
And appropriate.
Yeah.
And appropriate for even the message that particular day. It all went together. So if you've ever heard his comedy, for sure, him at a funeral makes sense to me. But just needing to laugh.
Just needing to laugh.
Just needing to laugh, because we are grieving the loss of somebody, but we're still here.
And we're still here, baby.
And laughter and happiness still is something that is appropriate for you to feel, even in your loss.
Could you call the guest of honor out their name?
You probably wouldn't in a church, maybe in a funeral home. Maybe in the funeral home.
See,
but in a church, probably not, because you allude to the calling them a name. Yes, absolutely.
Wouldn't have the same oomph.
Well, we don't want people swearing in the church house.
You really don't, but if you got the comedy.
But would I laugh? Yes.
Oh.
Would I laugh? Absolutely.
Oh, I could hear, because this.
Gasping for air. Gasping for air is what I would be doing if I heard it, because I laugh at inappropriate things.
But that is so appropriate to me. Shotty, I don't know, maybe is that, was I the only one? Had y'all heard of that before? Had you ever heard of at a funeral to have a stand-up?
I don't know that I had heard of a funeral, but I had comedy at a funeral. But there's so many different things at a funeral that I wish I have not seen. So comedy definitely would be on the things that I would have preferred to see with some of the other actions I've seen at funerals.
Yeah, but they were not meant to be funny, although you probably got a laugh out of them. But
or cringe.
Deliberately funny, deliberately to try to lighten the mood. And I just think that would be, because I'm that guy. I crack jokes at funerals. At graveside. I'm that dude, man. I made my nephew laugh at my Uncle Earl's funeral, and
it was a quiet laugh. It wasn't shared.
No, it was a snort. And my brother grabbed him and put his head in his shoulder, and his shoulders were moving like
people were
that.
thinking he was crying.
People were thinking he was crying, but he was. My brother was holding his head in his shoulder, and his shoulder was good. I just ain't got no sense because the eulogy was interesting, and I was commenting on.
But that's like, okay. And I know this can't just be me. If the person was not somebody who attended that church, and that the person who was eulogizing them did not know them very well, it's always some blanketed message. It's not connected to the deceased, and you trying to make sense of it. And I know I'm not the only person who thinks
it's a generic message.
Yeah,
when the pastor didn't know him,
right?
When the
and
pastor
it's like,
didn't know him.
And you're judging, going like this. I don't know, but when you get somebody who can speak to that person, it's hilarious.
And I remember the movie that was made about. It was James Earl Jones, but he was the pastor of Ebenezer before Dr. King took over. And there was a scene in the movie, and this guy had gotten killed, and he was, his mama was in the church, but he had done strayed away and was living a different life. And they had the funeral in the church, and they asked him to do the eulogy. And he said, okay, if I got to. And he said, Junior spent his entire life, his entire adult life, walking around with his neck stuck out, daring somebody to cut his throat.
Yikes.
Well, last Sunday night, somebody finally obliged him. He lived a trifling life, and he died a trifling death. Amen.
Amen. And if it was true,
it was true.
And then the comedy of comparing to what had been his message. All right.
Yeah, get your laugh. It's necessary.
It could be also a tale for people to be cautious about what you. Yeah,
absolutely.
You be wary of what you daring people to do and say. So. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
The Front Porch, y'all. WBOK 1230 AM. What New Orleans is talking about.
All day long.
Stick and stay. Y'all don't go nowhere. We going to see you on the other side of the break.
From the campus of Xavier University. WBOK 1230 AM.
Go.
An Equity Media Station.
This news report is brought to you by New Schools for New Orleans.
I'm Bree Wood with 4 things you should know from BIN News. Senator Ted Cruz criticizes the Biden administration for auctioning unused border wall pieces, joining President-elect Trump in calling for the sales to stop. Texas leaders considered buying the pieces but found them mostly junk. Wall Street closed lower as the Dow Jones Industrial Average extended its losing streak. At the closing bell, the Dow lost 267 points, the S&P 500 lost 23 points, and the Nasdaq fell 64 points. A complete mastodon jaw was found in an Orange County backyard 80 miles northwest of New York City. The homeowner discovered the teeth and called in experts from the New York State Museum and SUNY Orange Community College. And WNBA star Asia Wilson has signed a historic 6-year extension with Nike, one of the richest shoe deals for a women's basketball player. Get BIN News on demand 24/7 at BINnews.com.
New Schools for New Orleans wants to send a huge congratulations to all of our educators, students, and families of New Orleans for their continuous academic growth. School performance scores have been released from the state. For the first time in many years, there are no failing schools in New Orleans public schools. As a district, our performance increased by 4 points. In addition, Orleans Parish now exceeds pre-COVID school performance score for all students by 6.2 points. When you see a teacher, school leader, or student, be sure to show them some love.
You're on the Front Porch with WBOK 1230 AM.
Said the night went to the little land. Do you see what I see? sea with a voice as big
Welcome back,
as
y'all.
the sea.
Front Porch, WBOK 1230 AM. What New Orleans is talking about.
All day long.
I'm your host, Graylin Brian Banks.
And I'm your host, Kimber White Dupree. Hey, y'all.
It's Brother Nyron on the other side of the glass, y'all. Thank you for sticking with us as we roll right into this third and final hour of today's episode of the Front Porch, continuing our broadcast from the historic campus of Xavier University from our studios right here at the foot of the overpass on South Norman C. Francis Parkway. www.wbok1230.com is the address. Stop on by or holler at your folks. Hit us up. 504-582-9422 is the number. Third hour, Kim.
Yes, sir.
It went by like lightning.
Very quickly.
We've been having a lot of good folks on here, a lot of bad children, and we ain't done.
We're not.
We got more company.
Yes, we do.
Yes, indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, please take a moment to welcome Miss Renetta Murray to the Front Porch. Hello and good morning, Renetta Murray.
Good morning, Graylin and Kimber.
Good
How are
morning.
We are well. We are well. Slide up a little closer to that mic. There we go. For the people could hear you.
All right.
How you doing this morning?
I'm well this morning. How are you?
We are well. We are wonderful. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your very busy schedule to come and stop by here and chat with us on the Front Porch.
Well, thank you for inviting me.
You caught the attention of Jim Ewers, one of the guys who gave us a call and said, man, you got to have this young lady. I heard her sing, and she did a homeless drive, and whatever she do, she the best thing since sliced bread. And I said, who she is? And imagine my surprise when you walked in the door. I said, man, that's who you was talking about.
Little old me, yeah.
Little old you.
Just little old me.
And obviously, but he is right. I mean, your resume is so impressive. You have been called a prodigy. You have been compared to the great Shirley Caesar. Your voice has been just spoken of in very high terms. We're going to talk about all that stuff. But before we do, I want you to give an opportunity for the 3 or 4 people out there who may not know who you are. Just tell them a little bit about yourself, where you're from, what you did, and how you wind up sitting on the front porch with us today.
Well, my name is Renetta Mays Murray. I am originally from a town called Franklin, Louisiana. That's about an hour and 45 minutes away from here.
Franklin?
Yes, I know where Franklin
You
is.
know, how do you know where Franklin is?
When it's time for festivals.
No, that's Franklinton.
Right, but if you are traveling through for different festivals.
Yeah, you
throughout
can.
Yeah.
Oh, so you
go
come to
past
the country.
Well, I have foundations
all
in
right.
the country. So yes, ma'am.
All right. That's cool.
I think we all do though.
Somewhere in the country. Somewhere in the country.
Yeah. Well, I am originally from Franklin, Louisiana.
Mm-hmm.
I've been living in this metropolitan area since like 2001.
Okay.
And this is home for me now.
Absolutely. Okay. Absolutely.
Now, how I ended up on the porch?
How you ended up on the porch?
I ended up on the porch because Mr. Ewers, Dr. Ewers, actually, he and his wife attend the same church as I.
Uh-huh.
I need to give a shout out, Franklin Avenue Baptist Church.
We were going to get to
Pastor Fred Luter, Lady Elizabeth Luter. I had to give my church a shout out.
Yes, ma'am.
But he saw me singing at Revival.
Mm-hmm.
And when we met after service and we conversed for a few minutes, and he's like, I've watched you several times. When you get up to sing, it's just the way the atmosphere shifts and the way the atmosphere changes, and it's as if people are in anticipation of you getting up to sing. He said, so there is a gift that you have, and it needs to be placed on a broader spectrum. And he said he will make a call or two, and apparently he did.
Oh,
because
he certainly did.
I ended up on the front porch.
Yes, ma'am. He called, I called and said, listen, man, I don't know if you know, but you need to know. Because what impressed him as much as your singing talents and abilities was the homeless drive, the you chair,
yes.
the homeless drive.
Yes, I do.
Which 11 years?
11 years.
11 years?
Yes.
That's what had him more impressed, more so than your singing. He was like, she gives back. Tell me a little bit about the homeless drive. How did that started? How did you become a part of that?
Okay, the homeless drive started back in 2013. My daughter was a student at UNO, and we decided that we just wanted to give back. It's more blessings to give than it is to receive.
Amen.
We all know that.
Amen.
Lots of times people say it, but there's no action behind it.
Like love.
Like love.
Well,
I'm gonna leave that part alone.
I'm
looking at Kimber's eyes.
It's an action and not an idea, but a lot of people don't understand that. Okay.
Absolutely. So my daughter and I decided to go out, and I got a few people to give some donations. And actually, I never forget that morning. It was kind of drizzling and it was cold. And I'm like, God, I'm not going out there in that cold and that rain. And something just would not let me rest. So I knew I had to go out and do it. Okay, so let's fast forward. While we're out there and we're serving the homeless, there was this one young man. He was the very last person that we serviced. And my daughter took pictures for Facebook. At this point, we stopped doing that. We don't take pictures because I always say, if you're at your very lowest,
why would
you want people to take pictures of you? And,
for whatever
in a
reason.
sense, I'm not going to say you're really trying to exploit that person, but in a way it is exploitation.
Yes.
And you wouldn't want anyone to do that to you.
Correct.
So that was the first year, and we did it that first year, but we didn't do it from that point on. However, that year when she posted the pictures, I was kind of new to Facebook, and I received an inbox message from an unknown lady asking me where was I at doing this, because the young man in the picture looked like her nephew who they had been searching for 3 years.
Wow.
Yes, it gets even crazier, right? Not crazier, but it
Yeah,
gets
there's more stories.
There's more to it, right? So I told her where I left the young man. You can hear me? Okay. I told her where I left the young man, and the next morning after morning service, I had another inbox from the same lady, and she said to me, "You will always be an angel to our family. My brother and sister-in-law went right where you said you left my nephew on yesterday, and they found their child."
Wow.
So he's back. He's on his way back home. Now, here's the interesting part, and that's why I say when God tells you to do something, be obedient to what the Lord tells you to do, because sometimes the blessing isn't really for you. He will use you as a vessel to bless other people. Sometimes other people's prayers are answered through your obedience to what God tells you to do. So when I talked back to the family, the mother called me and she told me, she said she had been looking for her son, and her only prayer to God was to have her son home for Christmas. He came home 2 weeks before Christmas because it was in December. It was December 7th. And she got her son home for Christmas, and we've stayed in touch throughout the years. We stay in touch with each other. He is doing well. He's doing so well. And I am just grateful that God used me to answer her prayer. And from that point on, I've been going, and we do it quietly. You know, I don't make a big noise about it because it's not about me.
Right. No, I get it.
It's not about me. So we do it, and I've had more people to come along and help out. I've had more people to start giving and wanting to be a part of it. This incoming year, I've been approached this year about corporate sponsors for next year.
Okay, all right.
So that's how that got started, and I'm not going to stop until the Lord stops me.
That is, well, he started you, so he the one got you on the way. That is a
and
beautiful
I'm not
thing.
going to stop.
And that shows just the power of what an individual can do. A lot of folks don't do a lot because they're waiting for a group. They're waiting for somebody else to begin so they can follow. But in order to get good things done, you don't necessarily need a group.
Absolutely.
You just need one good person who just has a good idea, and it's rooted in giving back.
Absolutely.
It's rooted in giving back. But I love the idea of not, because you use the right word, not exploiting the people who you are helping for likes. For likes and thumbs ups and different things like that. No, I love that.
Lots of people, they'll go out, and I've seen people out there, they're taking
feed
the
them and take a picture,
and
make
everything,
them smile,
and all of that. And I'm like, every last one of us, no matter who we are, I don't care how much education you have, I don't care how much money you have, I don't care how much status you have. Every last one of us are one traumatic situation away from being under that bridge and our life being changed forever. It can happen to any one of us at any given time.
There, but for the grace of God. There, but for the grace of God, go out.
But for the grace of God.
That's right.
That's right. You have shared your impact that has been a ripple effect in this one particular instance, and I'm sure there have been countless other impacts over the last 11 years. You shared one ripple that started a chain of events that helped a family to recover one of their own just by having an impact on one person's life. Over this 11 years, have you had other stories that have been an opportunity to let people know that they're not forgotten and they have been able to find ways to pull themselves or get help to get themselves out of their situation where you met them?
Yeah, we have. Actually, Kimber, we've had countless events where we've run into people, and just for us being out there, I've had pastors to go out with me, and we do prayer circles out there. We try to help people as much as we can and lead them and direct them in the way that they, to help them get whatever it is they need to come off of the streets and find housing and to find a permanent place, even to find a church home where that church home could possibly help you. Well, it can always help you. But, just to be an encouragement to them, it doesn't take much to just go out and say a kind word. Speak a kind word to somebody. You know what I'm saying?
We in this show every day.
Speak a kind word.
Yep. Practice random acts of kindness.
Just go out there sometimes, and the things that we take for granted on a daily basis are things that the people under that bridge, they cherish those things. I mean, simple things as toiletries. They, it's empowering to me. It gives me so much joy. I think it helps me more than it helps them. Yeah. Because there are situations that I've endured, not homelessness, but just loss.
Life.
In life. And it makes you, loss will make you look at things differently.
Absolutely.
So that's just part of my plight. I believe that this is an assignment that God has given me to carry out, and I will to the best of my abilities until I can't anymore.
Amen.
And my prayer is that I am influencing enough people who go along with me that when I'm not able to do it any longer, that they will continue to do it.
Going. Oh yeah,
absolutely.
I love that.
That is starting the cycle of people passing it forward, and passing it forward doesn't necessarily mean that you're making these large acts, because a large act one time is not something that is really sustainable.
Right.
Like it's hard to do, but small investments over time, and I mean 11 years, that's a lot of investments and a lot of people that you've impacted, but the people who you have touched, there's been a ripple effect where it's been able to continue along. And if people start seeing that one person is making an impact on single people, multiple single instances, and they pick that up, what a difference this world can make.
I totally agree with you.
You mentioned Franklin Avenue Baptist Church, which you said you had to do.
I had to.
And we understand that.
You said we're on the porch, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, we are.
And we believe in doing what you have to do here on the porch. And seeing as how you are the lead vocalist for the Franklin Avenue.
One of them.
Right now, you're the only one here.
Okay.
So how about that? You're the lead vocalist that is here on the front porch with us from the Franklin Avenue Baptist Church Choir.
Yes.
Speaking of stuff that you have to do.
Okay.
Because you're on the porch. You know where it was going.
I feel where this is going. I feel where it's going.
We would be remiss if we have been talking about gifts on this show all day.
Yes, we have.
We've been talking about gifts.
Okay.
And you came in and you mentioned one of the first things out of your mouth was a gift.
Okay.
Which just shows what happens on the front porch permeates the air and continues from one segment to the other. So in that vein, madam, we would like to ask you to impose upon you to share your gift with us here on the porch and our audience out there. If you would not mind, your choice, please. The floor is yours.
Do you see how eloquently he put that? It puts you in a position where you cannot
Can't
say
say
no.
Yeah.
I'm good.
That's been crafted over time.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So he's mastered this.
Absolutely.
All right.
Mastering.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. We see that. Okay. So, well, I will share my gift, and I will say this: we're in a season of giving, and we know that this time of the year, people are much kinder, more polite, and it's something that we should be throughout the entire year. But we know it happens during the holiday season, and Jesus is the reason for the season. Without the birth of Christ, there would be no Christmas, right? So, what do you want? You tell me what you want. Let's see.
Classic. Amazing Grace.
Oh, I could do that.
I know you can.
That's simple. I thought you were
No,
talking
no,
Christmas songs or something like that, you know?
I'm going to get the gift to give me. Christmas already here. I want this gift for me. That's what I would suggest.
That's what you would suggest?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, well, we can do that one.
Thank you very much.
You're quite welcome. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I was lost, but now I am found. I was blind, but now I can see.
Now, can that boy request or can he request? Renetta Murray.
Yes, Graylin Banks.
Thank you so much.
Thank you all so much for
You
having
have blessed
me.
the porch today by sharing your gift both with us and with our audience. We are truly appreciative. We thank you for your efforts in the homeless drive. We wish you all the best to continue. And you have an invitation both from Wick and from us that when that album gets ready to drop, 2025, you come here and we debut the first song right here on the Front Porch.
It's a deal.
Done deal.
Done deal.
It's the Front Porch, y'all. WBOK 1230 AM, what New Orleans is talking about.
All day long.
Stick and stay, y'all. We're going to see you on the other side of the break.
Hey, this is D. Riley from the 90s Hits R&B Jams. Make sure you listen to WBOK 1230 AM every Saturday.
Welcome back, y'all. It's the Front Porch, WBOK 1230 AM, what New Orleans is talking about.
All day long.
I'm your host, Graylin Bryant Bank.
And I'm your host, Kimber White Dupree. Good morning.
Brother Jared, Brother Nyron, on the other side of the glass, bringing it to you right here. Y'all, you can still feel that up in here.
You sure can. You most certainly can. It's been a show, though, of that. We just keep going up. Going higher and higher and higher.
That's right.
Yeah.
And now y'all stuck with us. Oh, well, you get what you get. But we can always make it better because we go straight to the line and talk to our friend, Mustang Sally.
You're right.
Mustang Sally. There she go.
There we go.
What?
What you say, Mustang?
Kimber.
Good morning. Good morning.
Boy, I tell you the truth. When that lady said, I could have came through the phone. When she said, "Oh, and he speaks well," I want to say, "Yes, he does." Everybody, he speaks well. Man, that lady, I tell you, she touches my soul, and I'm hoping that song go to all the little sick children and babies who carry guns and kill people.
Amen.
Just slap their hands and make them put them away.
Come on now.
And thank you so much for WBOK with my number one teacher, Kimber, and my number one speaker, Mr. Gregan. And don't forget about my little Tootie Fruities, Nyron and Jared.
Yes,
y'all have a great day. I'm feeling pretty good. I love that little song.
You sound wonderful, Mustang Sally. Enjoy the rest of your day.
No problem, baby. Y'all do it to me every time. I be having some little problems. So, wait a minute. Who else gonna help me but that man upstairs?
Come on now.
I'm sorry, girl. You're not before him.
Oh no. Please don't mistake me. No, ma'am.
Y'all sure help me out. Y'all help me out because I tell you, we be having some worry days along, but we going to just forgive them. And guess what? Just keep on moving.
We're going to be all right, Mustang Sally.
That's right. Y'all have a great day, baby. Nice talking to y'all.
Good talking to you, too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yes, indeed. Y'all blew this thing up, man. Anita Harris, Jackie Wilmore, Cheryl, William. Walise won't he do it? Toya, Cam, I see y'all. That girl sang, boy.
Yes, indeed.
That girl sang that song.
Yes, indeed. Sharing the gift.
See, that's Franklin Avenue Baptist Church own Renetta Mays Murray. She bad girl.
Yes.
I will give her that. She is a bad girl.
And the combination of the gifts.
The combination of the gifts.
Because the gift to give is a gift.
That's right.
People often celebrate talents, and that is a talent. That is a gift that was bestowed upon her. But the gift to give is definitely one worth acknowledging and celebrating because it is needed.
That's right, especially right now. And again, you see, it doesn't take a lot. Just you. If you got faith, step on out there. You'll be all right. 504-582-9422. Good morning, Sister V. How you doing?
Good morning and welcome back, Brother Graylor.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
It's so good to hear. Okay, but
good morning. Good morning, Sister V. How you this morning?
I just love you all. I'm doing wonderful. I just love you all. Now, you know, when I turned it on, I was like in the middle, but I did catch. What was her name? Renata?
Yes,
Renetta Murray.
Renetta
Mays Murray.
Renetta Mays Murray. And when she said, Franklin, that's all my stumping ground. So I'm trying to see whether or not I'm related. I'm going to have to go over to Franklin Avenue. Now, do y'all have any information on her?
She is one of the lead singers for the Franklin Avenue Baptist Church Choir. She does the homeless thing, but go over. I'm sure she'll be there. Franklin Avenue welcomes all. So go on over there and tell her you heard on the Front Porch, and you're trying to see if y'all got some of the same kinfolks.
That's my people.
I'm trying. You know, and look, we can't slight. We got to go all the way back to Gospel Ron, and we got some of the best now.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
Don't forget, what's the one that come on in the morning now?
Who you talking about? Rev, just
Leo,
nephew,
Reverend
Leo.
yes, Leo Jackson.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Okay, now look, I done been to a couple of them concerts too.
Oh yeah, he
So
throws
we got the
down.
best of the best. Hey, you know.
Yes,
I
indeed.
love y'all. Y'all the king and the queen of this show here.
Thank you
Oh,
so
thank
much,
you so
Sister
much.
V.
Okay, love. Y'all be blessed now.
You
All
do
right,
too,
you
dog.
too.
Take care.
All right now.
Yes,
Okay.
indeed. Yeah, man.
Gotta love it.
You gotta love it.
Gotta love
I told you, man, I always go with the classics. I know it's Christmas time, but no, give me this one. Give me that one.
And it was definitely felt, and it's still we still feeling the residual.
Still feeling the residual.
Yes.
And I know y'all are too. And guess what? You're welcome. As you well know, every Wednesday, Bad Cheering Wednesday, we go to the final hour of the show. And at the bottom of that hour, we welcome our good friend, Dr. Mark Allen Derry, to the show. Doc, how you feeling?
I'm doing well. I'm
Yeah.
doing well. How are you guys doing? Nice
Man.
to hear from you guys.
It's a pleasure.
Is this Dr. Derry or Barry White? This is a different voice. What's going on here?
Wow. I'm coming on more often now.
Hey, there you go. There you go. His popularity done moved up and split, man. You can't beat it.
I love it.
Now, Doc, I know that you had some things that you wanted to talk about today. And my friend, you know, when you like to talk about it, if it's affecting you, then we know at some point in the very near future, it will affect us. So please, the floor is yours.
Well, I mean, I wanted to pick your brains and have the conversation with you guys about what we're seeing with this, some of these Trump picks that we're picking. These are conversations that we've been having for a long time as to what happens when medicine and bad science interferes with public health.
Yeah.
And I am fearing greatly what the future has to bring with these Trump picks. You know, as we all know, I'm pretty sure it was Maya Angelou who said, if people tell you who they are, believe them.
That is correct.
And when they're talking about, this weekend, we had an attorney for RFK Jr. who's talking about removing the polio vaccine. That's insane.
It is.
The idea of that is beyond anything that I've ever conceived. I mean, we are in dire straits already with climate change and guns and just all the other things that are out there. But when we start talking about things that are more practical in terms of things that we're going to see on a regular basis, if they start removing vaccines, as is being considered or contemplated, or fluoride from the water.
Fluoride from the waters, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah.
Or I don't know if you guys also saw that they're now starting to charge the CDC with only focusing on what they originally were created to do, which is infectious diseases. One of the things that they're trying to remove from the CDC is counting things like gun violence or automobile accidents or all the other things that are public health oriented, because if we can't see the problem, we don't do anything about the problem. And so what I am seeing as we're moving forward into this second President Trump era is a potential for significant public health issues, starting with vaccines, but then also moving into some of the other things that we've been talking about as well, which is H5N1. We don't know what this disease X that's happening in the Congo, which is something if we want to talk about as well. Mpox. So there are many, many things that are on the horizon that are very, very, very concerning. And to see, we are not moving in the right direction. I guess let's put it that way. And this is something that we've talked about here for years on the Front Porch.
Yes.
Concerns about that. And even under better circumstances, when we had very, very competent people in the right places, for example, we still have farmers that are refusing to let government officials come onto the farms and actually test their milk or test their cows for H5N1. How is it that a farmer's individual rights supplants the rights of the public health? And they say, you can't come on here. Any other country, they would be like, step aside. We're
right.
here. we got to figure out what's going on here, because in the end, it's going to cost us more if we're just looking at, resources and dollars and cents, And so those are kind of the things that have been on my mind, and kind of wanted to bring it all to you guys to see how what you guys think about it, what our listening audience thinks about it, if they have any questions or concerns. And so those are all the big topics that have been on my brain. I haven't been on for a week or two, so they've all just been kind of up.
Marinating and whatnot. But do you really, Doc? I really, I don't know what they're going to be able to actually get done, because they're running into resistance already, even from their own side. And
did you see Kennedy last night?
I did not see him. Now, I know you wanted to talk about it, but he doesn't have a job yet, though, right?
No. I'm sorry. You're right. I'm talking about Senator Kennedy.
No,
the guy from here.
Yes, our senator was pushing back, being like, polio vaccines. He said he should fight. I swear to God. I think in 7 years, I was like, all right, that's the first time I actually agree with him. He didn't get into his what's the name of the big cock that he sounds like the chicken?
Foghorn Leghorn.
What is it? What's his name?
Foghorn Leghorn.
Yeah. He wasn't even doing his Foghorn Leghorn accent or anything. He was just like, he was like, RFK needs to fire that lawyer, like straight up, no Foghorn Leghorn, no cutesy, no nothing.
Because they know. He
knows exactly.
They know. Look, Doc, that's why I say, I believe that this is politics. Let's just remember that, right? Even the presidential election is politics. How many times in politics do you make buku promises and then can't do it? You know what I'm saying? I don't know if the extent that he has talked about is going to be actually brought to fruition, because you can see the pushback coming from people on his own side, because some of the things that you're talking about, they know will cause massive problems for everybody. And with people whose first, last, and always priority is money, they got to realize that this thing is going to cost us more money than anything else.
Yeah, I mean, I hear you, and I've got two things to respond to that. And I agree with everything that you're saying, 100%. But my two things are this. One is, let's just focus on the polio vaccine.
Okay.
Just talking about the polio vaccine and wanting to retract it, or to remove it. There are people, I don't know how many people, hundreds of thousands, maybe 1 million, I don't know, that are young parents who hear messaging like that.
Mm-hmm.
And those people can be adversely affected.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's one group that I'm concerned about. I have no idea what that number is. I definitely think it's more than one. I definitely think it's probably in the hundreds of thousands, if not more. And those are children. They're going to be parents of children that they're going to refuse polio vaccine for, and who risk getting polio. So again, any childhood disease is a tragedy, but the biggest tragedies are the ones that are vaccine preventable diseases that are tragedies.
What do you think about that old adage that a hard head make a soft behind? Or that you won't know?
But listen, if it's you, fine. You don't want to wear a mask and you get COVID. Remember how many times I told you?
Yes.
The people who, as they were just about to go under, they were going to be intubated. They look at me and they're like, I'll take the vaccine now. And I'm like, I'm sorry, brother.
Too late.
There's nothing you can do. Right. Those people, yes. Hard head, soft behind.
There you go.
But these are children.
But it's the parents, though, right? I mean, those are the ones, they're going to have to be the ones, and I hate to put it on the kids who are going to have to pull the burden of this, but they're the ones who are going to have to realize that their reticence about the vaccine or anything participating in the vilification of science and doctors is going to cost them, because if your child, the one that you made the adult decision not to vaccinate, God forbid, comes down with that disease, now what? you're going to be running to the same people who you were vilifying a little while ago, now looking for help for your polio-stricken child.
Yeah.
And
Yep,
that
100%.
leans into the sins of the father. So like when we're talking about, like, I would hate to see children be impacted because of what parents have chosen not to do for them. But we're back to people needing to learn the lessons by actually experiencing the lesson in order to say that you shouldn't do this. And for people who have studied and are well read, like, oh, we've seen this before, I see this coming. Your move as a doctor is to prevent seeing people have to face those disasters again. However, with the politicizing of healthcare, with the politicizing of choice, freedom of choice to do things, and it's a farce of freedom of choice because everybody doesn't have the freedoms. But anyway, that's another conversation. People have the choice to make those decisions, and the fathers and or mothers who are deciding to make those decisions for their children are going to suffer, and unfortunately they're going to have to experience it before the next generation says, hey, this is bad. We just saw this is bad, because the books that said it was bad decades ago, hundreds of years ago, you have now relegated that to being some sort of fairy tale or some fable. So now you have to experience that again to know that this is not the way that we should go. And it's unfortunate, but it seems that is the line of thinking that many people are having right now.
Yeah, and that is because we are putting people at the top here, that don't belong there. And let's put a pin in that, because you guys just made me think of a very funny joke. So I want to tell you this quick joke before we go back to that. And there was a great comic that I saw, like a little comic strip, and it shows a child in his pediatrician's office, and his parents are looking at the pediatrician examining him. And it says, oh, you have measles, and he clearly has all the red dots all over him. It says, and then he says, when you string all of these measles lesions together, it reads, your parents are idiots.
Well,
I like that.
I
was trying to figure out a way to weave in our motto here on the front porch into this conversation, because I think it's apropos. But we always say people stupid, Doc.
Stupid.
People stupid, man. And we've been saying that a long time, and just the idea that they are still so easily manipulated and led and sent to believe stuff that is against their own best interest. I don't know how we get past that, Doc. That's the part I just don't know.
It was like Jimmy Kimmel the night after the election was going through kind of like, it was a bad night. It was a bad night for climate change. It was a bad night for this. It was a bad night for that, or whatever. And he kind of did it for about a minute and a half, listing all the things it was a bad night for. At the end, and he says, and it was also a bad night for the Trump supporters. They just don't know it yet.
Yeah.
They don't know it yet.
They're finding out, though.
And that, yes, no, they're going to be
FIFO
finding
is
out
real.
that right, the backpedaling on, eggs is going to be, who knew it was so difficult?
That's right.
Grocery prices, who knew it was so difficult, or what have you. I think they are going to start finding out. And, one of the things I've always said about the U.S., and I never understood why I said it, but I do understand it better now. But one thing I've been saying for about a decade or so is that Americans are unique in that we constantly vote against our own interests. And recently, as I have been really trying to dive into misinformation and disinformation, it occurs to me, I think it was Mark Twain said that a lie will go around the world 6 times before the truth
get out of bed in the morning.
Right, yeah.
Before the truth gets out of bed.
Right, and we talked about a number of times here on the front porch during COVID was that the sexy, clickable clickbait links or what have you was always like the salacious things, but or the lies. But when you go to actual real information, it's very dodgy. The language is very stuffy. It's usually hidden behind a scientific paywall. The studies are very hard to read or what have you. And so I understand now that misinformation is so much sexier, and people are more likely to consume it because it's easier to consume. And as we have less people who are educated, and as we degrade the educational system, and people aren't as media literate or scientific literate as they were 50 years ago, or what have you, I can understand why they're falling into these traps.
You can see it clearly. Doc, hold that thought. We got to take this break. It's the Front Porch, y'all. WBOK 1230 AM, what New Orleans is talking about.
All day long.
Stick and stay. Y'all don't go nowhere. We're going to be right back and finish our conversation with Dr. Mark Allen Derry on the other side of this break. Welcome back, y'all. It's the Front Porch, WBOK 1230 AM, what New Orleans is talking about.
All day long.
I'm your host, Graylin Bryant Banks.
And I'm your host, Kimber White Dupree. Hey, y'all.
For the Jared, but the Nyron on the other side of the glass, y'all. We're going to go right back to our conversation with Mark Allen Derry. Doc, you still with us?
I'm here.
Absolutely, man. Making some great points right before you left, man, about how folks, disinformation and misinformation can manipulate folks into voting against their own interests. And that's what I think, Doc, sometimes it's the old lessons. And I know you're in a position, and you're an empath. You feel it because you're talking about the ones who don't make the decisions and the impact on them. But I don't think that's going to change until there's some really, really severe backlash that came as a result of this last election. And folks are going to get exactly what they ordered. I just believe that. And I don't think it's going to be easy, but I think it was so simple to see what was going to be coming, and you voted for it anyway.
Right.
Right. You know, I always say, it's going to get worse before it gets worse.
Yes.
And I think that what is going to happen in these individuals that we're talking about, there's going to be a blowback that's going to turn around onto us. Because
us meaning doctors?
Yes.
No.
Who are you talking about?
Us. I'm talking about us being those that didn't vote for this. Here's what I'm saying. Essentially, is I am afraid okay, let me take a quick step back and let me just start by saying this. What do you think when we start to see that they're going to take fluoride out of the water, or they're going to remove vaccines, or they're going to do or that HIV doesn't cause AIDS? I mean, all of this stuff. I mean, again, this is coming from a man who sawed off the head of a whale and put it on top of his car and traveled several hundred miles with this whale on top of his car. You guys, you heard that, right?
Oh, yeah, he killed the bear, killed the baby bear. And all
then he killed the baby bear.
In
I mean,
Central
like,
Park,
so we're talking about, so when you put somebody like that in charge of Health and Human Services, right, or you put somebody who's clearly not qualified for the FBI or for national security or for, Hegseth at the Pentagon. What we're doing is we are creating recipes for an unstable society.
Yes.
Because these are individuals that are not going to run these institutions in a manner that maintains stability. They're going to create instability in those institutions. It's like one of those endless spinning tops. When everything is fine, it could just continue spinning on its own. But you introduce just a little bit of, you touch it just a little bit so that it spins off of its axis, it could spin out of control very quickly. And what I fear is that as that occurs, as we start to see more of that instability, I think the people, I fear militias, I fear people with guns, I fear people who have ammunition, and I fear that as they start feeling more and more pain, that they start taking matters into their own hands. And I see kind of as I start putting these pieces together, to be honest with you guys, and I don't mean to be a bummer, but I do see a bit of a dystopian future, and this is why I say it's going to get worse before it gets worse. I think times are coming that are going to be very, very hard, really moving forward.
Yeah, I don't necessarily share that outlook, Doc, but I understand why you see it, because I know the position and the perspective that you're coming from, because a lot of these things that they are talking about, it's a one simple thing to remove the polio vaccine or anything else like that. The ramifications for your being right won't be seen for a while. And then when they do, those same people who you were worried about, you are afraid that they don't have the discernment to actually see who their enemy is, and will turn around and start shooting at each other, and it'll have civil war, because we don't know that everybody's being manipulated against each other, because this thing doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, man, but it never has, Doc. It hasn't since the guy rode down the golden escalator. It just has not made sense why people would continually vote against their own best interest, but they do.
Yeah, and let me 100%. Let me just take one more step out and just see what do you think? How do you think the rest of the world is going to look at us?
Oh, everybody's laughing.
Dude, we're done.
Everybody's laughing.
They're scared because they're scared of both China and Russia, who are now going to see the opportunity that they've got a kindred spirit in Washington. And then you've got this whole idea that oligarchs or billionaires, corporations, as it were, are now going to be the world government. That's the new world order that all these people who's supposed to be anti-globalists are really heading in that direction, when a handful of people actually make all the decisions for everybody in the world.
Yeah, and that is scary. And as you mentioned, the billionaires, what do they say? They said this is the richest administration that they're pulling together.
Yes.
With and certainly with Elon Musk and this so-called Department of Government Efficiency, which is not really a department, it's being created, obviously. Named after a scam Bitcoin, that Musk tried to promote, that he, I think, did a pump and dump with. And so the whole thing ended up being a scam, but called Doge. And they want to remove $2 trillion in the budget. And to remove $2 trillion of our budget, what they need to go after is going to be Social Security. It's going to be Medicare. I mean, yes, they do a lot of damage with the war machine of the United States and that budget. But what I'm really concerned about too is the sort of, and we saw him go into Twitter and just decimate Twitter, got rid of 80% of the overhead costs just right off the bat. So we see that, again, if somebody shows you who they are, believe them.
Oh, yeah.
And so to see him and Ramaswamy potentially get in and potentially kind of rejigger Medicare and Social Security, that also is of great concern. Again, these are destabilizing forces that can occur in the society. And so these are things that are just very, very concerning for me.
And I see, Doc, because the direction that I see that is going is going back to the United Healthcare guy.
We haven't even talked about that.
Right. The United, and that's because I think when you've got enough people who we'll see every revolution starts like that with people realizing, coming to the realization that you've been used by the top people fighting against each other. Marie Antoinette on down, Pol Pot. It's happened everywhere. Every time there's been a revolution. What's the latest one? Syria.
Look how the Syrian soldiers were like, we're done.
We're done.
They literally just left their uniforms on the road as
That's
they
right.
escaped.
That's right. And trying to get out because it is inevitable. It has been the story of human beings since the beginning. Now, did the people of Syria go through some stuff before they finally had enough? Yes. Yes, they did. And could you use that, I think, as a template or a blueprint for what may be our future? Yes, I do think so. But I don't think you'll be able to get around it because history hadn't shown that we're that sophisticated.
Yeah. I will say this. Thank goodness for us, WBOK,
yes,
for WHIV. Thank goodness that we at this time have the ability right now to have these conversations on air and doing so freely. Because at WHIV, we're struggling to figure out, as we were once the, NOLA's New Orleans voice of resistance, we're starting to tone some of that verbiage down a little bit, I think that moving forward, at least on the WHIV side, I think having conversations like this, frank conversations, are going to continue to be very, very important. And again, thank goodness for, as I was listening to the ad reads here on the break, just, yes, an investment in WBOK is an investment in community.
Absolutely.
That really stuck out to me. And I think that's so important. And I think that we really need to keep voices like ours at WHIV, at WBOK, continue to be strong because these conversations need to happen as long as they can.
And we don't know how long they can, Doc. So
Lord.
Because with everything, else and the FCC and everybody else, listen, we're going to have to start playing Dear Leader on the radio.
I don't think that would ever happen because neither you nor I would stomach that.
We just be gone, disappeared,
Yeah.
right? Dr. Mark Allen Derry, my friend, thank you. It's been a minute, man. It's great to hear your voice. Thank you for sharing your concerns, and we'll be back next Wednesday. The Lord spare life, and could creek don't rise, and we're going to talk more about it then, all right?
Thank you guys for having me.
Absolutely.
All right, Doc.
Good
Take
talking
care.
to you.
Thank y'all for giving us 3 hours out of your lives that you'll never get back. And we certainly hope we've given you a little bit of something in return for the investment of your time. I'm your host, Graylin Bryant Banks.
I'm your host, Kimber White Dupree. Today's theme is gifts.
Gifts, baby. Gifts. Brother Jared, Brother Nyron, and Justin, all on the other side of the glass. Y'all practice random acts of kindness. Do something nice for somebody just because it's a nice thing to do. Y'all take care of yourselves, and we're going to see y'all on the flip.